This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine, featuring artwork with various characters. The cover promotes a special End of the Century and 21st Century issue with a present for all applicants. Featured articles include interviews with UGA representative Tetsuya Mizuguchi and Lovedelic representative Kenichi Nishi, as well as producer Ryu Michiaya and Sonic Team president Yuji Naka. There is also a new president story about Ken Sasaki and Sega Rosso. The magazine highlights Dream Magazine's special report on upcoming games, network play features, and details on titles like Phantasy Star Online and Fighting Vipers 2 Secrets. Other games mentioned include Sakura Wars Kinematron, Hanagumi Mail, Guilty Gear X, Macross M3, and Eve 0, the complete edition. There is also a section addressing player questions about network games and their longevity, plus a reader race and ranking section. The bottom section announces a 20 million 2001 movie guide and a user-focused Dream Magazine library feature. The price is 450 yen, and the issue date is 12/15. The page also lists Dream Magazine major strategy guides for games like Biohazard 3, Last Escape, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, Make an X, Dead or Alive 2, Power Smash, and Quiz, Oh My Goddess. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast console, emphasizing the abundance of content available. The text at the top proclaims, "Anyway, it's packed with content." An orange box with the Dreamcast logo is overflowing with various game characters, including Sonic, Amy, Tails, Ulala from Space Channel 5, and characters from Samba de Amigo, along with the Dreamcast console itself. The advert also features the Dreamcast Direct logo and promotes the DreamPoint Bank service for game purchases. This page highlights upcoming Dreamcast game releases. Several titles were slated for December releases at 5,800 yen. These include Sakatsuku Tokudaigo, a soccer management sim with expanded features; Samba de Amigo Versailles 2000, a rhythm action game with new modes; Daytona USA 2001, a racing game with enhanced graphics and online play; and Sonic Shuffle, a party game. All these games support the VGA box. Additionally, 2 Sakura Taisen-themed items are advertised. The Sakura Taisen Dreamcast for Internet bundle, which includes a themed console, controller, and software, will be released for 25,800 yen. The Sakura Taisen Kinematron Hanagumi Mail software is available separately for 2,800 yen. Both Sakura Taisen items release on December 28th and include a Sakura Taisen 3 movie disc with initial production runs. This Dreamcast Magazine issue includes a variety of features. A Welcome to the 21st Century campaign on page 24 offers a gift to readers. Interviews include discussions with game creators Tetsuya Mizuguchi and Kenichi Nishi, page 66, racecar driver Ryo Mishigami and Yuji Nakatani, page 70, and a new president story, page 89, focusing on Sega Rosso. The issue's theme is Fresh Start, page 20, with articles exploring the longevity of network gaming, page 22. Game previews include Burn, Justice Gakuen, page 30, and features on Phantasy Star Online, page 44, Fighting Vipers 2, page 50, Guilty Gear X, page 54, Macross M3, page 58, and Eve 0 Complete Version, page 62. An icon explanation section clarifies magazine symbols. This page lists the game index and content overview for this issue. The Dreamcast Soft Complete Guide section highlights upcoming Dreamcast releases, including Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, Melty Lancer React T, and Dead or Alive 2. It also mentions Virtua Tennis, Quiz, Ah, My Goddess, First Contact with the Winged Wonder, and Aero Dancing F. The Game Index section provides a comprehensive list of games featured in this issue with page numbers, including titles like Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide, Let's Gather, Guru Guru Hot Springs, EVE 0 Complete Edition, Skies of Arcadia, Eldorado Gate, Angel Present, Guilty Gear X, Sakura Wars Kinematron Flower Division Mail, Samba de Amigo Ver 2000, Space Channel 5, Charge N Blast, 100 Swords, Fighting Vipers 2, Phantasy Star Online, Macross M3, Project Justice, Rune Jade, Kraken DJ, Confidential Mission, and Ninja Assault. This page is a news roundup focusing on Dreamcast events and services. It highlights the Power Smash, Virtua Tennis, National Tournament, Sega Dream Open, which took place on November 23rd across 6 locations in Japan, culminating in a final in Tokyo, feat. The event was packed with people and featured online matches. There's also news about Samba de Amigo Ver 2000 being demoed at Joyopolis, showcasing its fun gameplay and attracting a crowd. The page then introduces that the D-Direct Dreamcast Direct Sales Service is now accessible via NTT Docomo's eMode service, allowing users to check news and order products on the go. Registration for the DD Times email magazine from D-Direct is also open, delivering weekly news every Thursday from December 7th. Finally, it promotes a D-Direct Christmas campaign running from November 30th to December 22nd, encouraging customers to visit and apply for prizes, including hardware like a Pearl Pink Dreamcast. The DC-related information section also mentions other news, such as Power Smash and Samba de Amigo event, D-Direct now accessible via eMode, Dreamcast sales in India aiming for 1.2 million units next year, Sega and Sonic Team games being offered on the Ematsuri limited-time website, Tokyo Game Show 2001 Spring is decided, and the 13th Next Generation World Hobby Fair is planned. Other news includes the announcement of a new character, NY Salad from Giant Killing, the opening of the official eMode site for K1, and the initial D comic movie scheduled for release on January 13th. Sega is launching the Dreamcast in India in December, targeting sales of over 1 million units by 2002, capitalizing on growing IT infrastructure. Puyo Puyo will be available on handheld devices like the Sharp Zorus, part of a multi-platform strategy. A limited-time online event, Ematsuri, offers prizes like Dreamcast software, featuring Sega games. The Tokyo Game Show 2001 Spring will allow general visitors on business days for the first time, from March 30th to April 1st. The top news on GameSpot includes Honda's Asimo robot, 3DFX's exit from the graphics card market, Capcom's new titles, the delayed Play Online service, and the secret Xbox showing at Comdex/Fall 2000. This page highlights a variety of topics, starting with the announcement of a new Namco amusement park called Tokyo Dream Egg City, opening on December 2nd in Tokyo's Odaiba area. This park, located in the DEX Tokyo Beach Island Mall, is themed around Little Hong Kong and features a character named Peyton. Next, the page introduces new characters called NY Salad, created by Tanoji Hayato, the character designer from Square's Eldorado Gate series. These characters are vegetable-themed, and merchandise and animation are in the works. The 13th Next Generation World Hobby Fair, the first big event of 2001, is announced, starting in Tokyo on January 13th and then moving to Fukuoka, Osaka, and Nagoya. Sega Toys will be participating, though Sega itself is not listed as attending this time. For mobile users, the official K1 Grand Prix website for iMode is launching on December 4th. This site will offer news, ringtones, wallpapers, and even quizzes related to K1 for a monthly fee. Finally, there's news about the Namco Wonder Egg 3 amusement park, which is counting down to its final event. They're offering special message cards and goods at the Wonder Market shop. The page concludes with an access guide to various Namco amusement parks, including Namco Jejetown, Namco Wonder Egg 3, Namco Wonder Adventure, Namco Neo Tokyo, and Namco Wonder Bayside, providing location and contact information. This page promotes upcoming entertainment and events. It begins with an advertisement for the initial D movie, based on the popular manga and anime, featuring ELT's theme song and realistic sound effects. A goods and presents section offers a Aura Battler Dunbine Nostalgia databook and a set of The King of Fighters and Capcom vs. SNK comics. The spot selection highlights Fujiki Naohito's debut album, Bump. On the right, Dream Magazine recommends several industry-focused events. Personal Computer Festa in Kansai, Anime Business Forum 2001, and NEC Net Business Fair, IEXPO 2000. Now, lastly, a Digicube HP Access campaign offers a chance to win prizes through a website questionnaire running until January 15, 2001. This page is an advertisement for Dreamcast Magazine, specifically a special year-end issue that comes with a GDROM. This issue, number 29, and a special increased edition, was released on Friday, December 15th, priced at 790 yen. It is highlighted as a must-buy before purchasing software, packed with 8 types of content. The GDROM includes playable demos of Daytona USA 2001, Never 7 The End of Infinity, Gunspike, and Mars Matrix. Additionally, it features special movie content for Daytona USA 2001, Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, Fighting Vipers 2, and Planet Harriers. The page emphasizes experiencing these games before making purchase decisions. The next page of Dreamcast Magazine presents the weekly data station, showcasing the top 10 best-selling Dreamcast games. At number 1 is Mercurius Pretty, End of the Century, an adventure game where you nurture a fairy, praised for its engaging story and replayability. Following at number 2 is Biohazard 3 Last Escape, known internationally as Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, a survival horror classic on the Dreamcast. Third place is taken by Arrow Dancing F, Get Shot Down, Fiery Aerial Battle, or Aerowings 2, Air Combat for international audiences, a flight simulation game highlighting online versus play capabilities. El Dorado Gate occupies the 4th spot. This RPG emphasizes strategic combat using elemental attributes. In 5th position is Eternal Arcadia, known globally as Skies of Arcadia, a beloved RPG celebrated for item collection and grand adventures. Ranked 6th is Moto Pro Yaku Team wo Tsukuru, a baseball team management simulation game emphasizing strategic depth. 7th place belongs to Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000, released internationally as Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000, marking a significant milestone in fighting game crossovers with over 200,000 total units sold. Sakura Taisen 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, holds the 8th position, an adventure game noted for initially slower sales but eventual popularity and long-term appeal. 9th is Tricolor Crisis, a shooting game where you can freely switch between 3 main characters, influencing the story. Finally, at 10th place is Mars Matrix, a vertically scrolling shooter featuring a new arrange mode and intense gameplay suitable for hardcore players. Dreamcast Magazine's reader poll reveals the top 30 most anticipated Dreamcast games. Leading the pack is Sega's adventure title, Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, followed by Shenmue 2. Guilty Gear X, a fighting game, takes 3rd place. Sonic Adventure 2 and Phantasy Star Online, both from Sega, secure 4th and 5th positions, respectively. Other anticipated titles include Eve Zero Complete Edition, Detective Gentleman Dash, and a variety of titles like Burn, Robot Great War Alpha, and El Dorado Gate. The weekly pickup highlights Sakura Wars, Kinematron Flower Division Mail. The magazine anticipates a strong software lineup, mentioning a demo for Sonic Adventure 2 and an early website for EVE Zero. This page presents 2 game rankings and 2 weekly pickup game previews. The first ranking, Reader's Choice, Transplant Hope Title Ranking Top 20. Lists games readers wish to see on the Dreamcast, with AIR at number 1. The second, Video Game Income Ranking Top 15, is topped by Derby Owners Club 2000. The weekly pickup games include EA Sports NASCAR Arcade, a racing game emphasizing timing and cornering, and Ninja Assault, a straightforward, demanding shooter where players must continuously fire to defeat enemies. December 2000 Dreamcast software releases include fighting games like Project Justice and The King of Fighters, Dream Match 1999, alongside shooters, adventures, and party games. Notable titles include Space Channel 5, Sonic Shuffle, and Phantasy Star Online. January 2001 sees GigaWing 2, Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, and NFL 2K1. February and March 2001 feature Resident Evil Code, Veronica Complete Edition, and Eve Zero. Hardware releases for December 2000 consist of various controllers, memory cards, and the Dreamcast keyboard, with special edition items like Sakura Wars themed accessories. A Sega Saturn release for December 2000 is also mentioned, Symphony of the Zodiac, Perpetual Collection. This page showcases the Dreamcast Reader's Ranking, Race 90, and spotlights 3 newly reviewed software titles. Tricolor Crisis, ranked 97th, is an RPG described as traditional and straightforward, offering enjoyable character development and combat, but noted for its slightly confusing map design. Nepachi, 2i at Vipachi, ranked 107th, is a pachinko game, reviewed as having familiar gameplay with minimal changes from previous entries in the series. Mars Matrix, ranked 153rd, is a shooting game praised for its engaging and challenging gameplay, even for newcomers to the genre, with compliments on its arcade-like feel and fast pace. The ASU Dreamcast Top Ranking section points out changes in the overall ranking, highlighting Eternal Arcadia climbing to 4th place, while Canon and Crazy Taxi have shifted down. The page essentially provides a snapshot of the current top Dreamcast games as voted by readers of the magazine. This Dreamcast page highlights popular software titles, including newly arrived and highly rated games. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future for Matching Service, is a new arrival, praised for its gameplay and VGA support, though the reviewer questions its late release. Sengokushi VI, with Power-Up Kit, is recommended for newcomers to the strategy simulation genre. Space Channel 5, a year old, is still considered fun and accessible, despite being easy. Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram receives high praise for its deep gameplay and immersive world, despite online lag. Finally, Shenmue Chapter 1 Yokosuka is featured, with the reviewer expressing anticipation for Shenmue 2 and appreciating the characters and voice acting. This page highlights Vampire Chronicle for Matching Service as a Dreamcast title that you can't go wrong buying. It boasts strong sales figures and network compatibility for online play. The game is praised for the diverse and appealing movements of its characters, featuring monsters and humans in deformed visual styles, a signature of the series. The page also includes comments from 2 individuals. Umesugi writes a short personal piece about moving and his desire to play games. Karsan gives a message recommending Vampire Chronicle as a compilation of the entire Vampire series on Dreamcast, allowing players to use all past characters and game modes, and enjoy online battles. He emphasizes it as a great collection for fans, including Vampire, Vampire Hunter, Vampire Savior, Savior 2, and Hunter 2. Furthermore, there's Vampire Chronicle ear information, detailing that the game is exclusively sold through D-Direct, Sega's online store, and not available in regular retail stores. Ordering is possible via their website or phone. The rest of the page is a comprehensive Dreamcast software catalog in table format, ranking titles by score and listing details like genre, publisher, release date, and price. But this is just a list and not reviewed in detail here. This page continues the Dreamcast software rankings, listing D-rank games from position 161 to 218, and introducing E-rank games from 219 to 245. Commentary sections analyze trends in these rankings. For the B to D ranks, Sega is noted for its rising popularity. In the E ranks, Yamazakiya is highlighted as a popular title. A section titled, Lately Released Expected Software, previews upcoming games. These include the Grauen no Tori Kapitel series, parts 4, 5, and 6, likely referencing Grauen no Tori Kapitel with different subtitles. Special Armored Police Superhero Gunrai, Melty-Lancer 3rd, End of the Century, F-Zero X Grand Prix 2 for Dreamcast, and Quiz Ah, My Goddess. Fighting Wings, a quiz game based on the anime/manga series Ah, My Goddess. This page previews several Dreamcast games released in late 2000. Capcom's Biohazard 3, Last Escape, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, received an 8.66 average score for its improved graphics compared to Biohazard 2, but slightly behind Veronica. NEC Interchannel's Melty-Lancer 3rd, End of the Century, garnered a 6.66 score for its immersive world and engaging dialogue. Sega's Power Smash, Virtua Tennis, and Sega Tetris both scored 8.66. Power Smash is lauded as the top tennis game, and Tetris is praised for its fun gameplay and network features. The page also features a section on Dreamcast peripherals, with the Puru Puru Pack, Dreamcast Keyboard, and Dreamcast Mouse being top-ranked based on reader votes. Reader comments highlight excitement for Tokyo Bus Guide and praise for the USA version of Shenmue. Finally, a reader survey and contest are announced, offering prizes for predicting game rankings. Quote, This page is a Dreamcast game review section. It starts by explaining the review scoring system, ranging from 12 being not product level to 910 being buy this software. It also describes the review process, mentioning that it's based on pre-release software impressions. There are comments from different reviewer perspectives. Female user comments, focusing on accessibility for beginners, person-in-charge writer comments, and guest writer comments, offering more specialized viewpoints. The first game reviewed is Moero, Justice Gakuen, Project Justice. The review highlights its exhilarating combo system, tag team moves, and 3D graphics, praising the quality for a fighting game. Reviewers enjoyed the Sugoroku mode, but some found character creation challenging and events lacking. It received an average score of 7.3, 3 out of 10 from 3 reviewers. The second game reviewed is Ao no Rokugo Seigetsu Fumai Tojin, Time and Tide. Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide 3. The review focuses on the adventure and submarine salvage gameplay, noting the tension of the salvage work and beautiful graphics. It mentions that those familiar with the OVA, original video animation, world will appreciate it. Reviewers praised the immersive world and graphics, but some felt the pace was slow and combat with marine life could be tedious. It received an average score of 8.0 out of 10. This page is an advertisement for the official strategy guidebook for the game Tricolore Crisi. It highlights that the guidebook is a must-have heart, which translates to must-have strategy guidebook with a heart. The advertisement mentions the guide covers profiles of the 3 main cute characters and many other characters, provides perfect introduction of profiles, complete listing of event appearance conditions, detailed maps that are hard to understand in the game, and data lists for items and enemy monsters. It is advertised as a complete guide. The text in the purple circle states, "Greatly popular, on sale now," and gives the price as 1,400 yen plus tax. A 5 size, 104 pages. This page announces the renewal of Tokyo Joyopolis on December 2nd, marking its first renewal in 4 years. The article highlights that the amusement park, initially opened in July 1996, is undergoing a significant change, introducing 5 new attractions. The target audience is shifting from couples to families, reflecting a change in the demographics of Odaiba, where Tokyo Joyopolis is located. The park aims to be more welcoming to families, moving away from its previous, somewhat sophisticated and cyber-themed design. The goal is to create a more casual atmosphere to attract a wider range of visitors. 3 of the 5 new attractions are spotlighted. Firstly, Speedboarder, described as a popular extreme ride, is a snowboard-style, horizontally oriented coaster. The developers experimented with sideways riding to create a thrilling experience different from traditional coasters, focusing on speed and exhilaration. Secondly, Viva! Skydiving is a skydiving simulation attraction designed to replicate the exhilarating feeling of skydiving. It features a 400-inch screen displaying high-altitude scenery and strong winds to create a sense of realism. Despite being only 14 meters high, it is claimed to be more frightening than 10,000 meters due to the intense sensory experience. Thirdly, Rampage Wild Jungle is a jungle tour attraction where guests ride in jeeps through a simulated jungle environment. It is a video-type attraction that aims to offer a higher quality experience than similar attractions like Wild River. The ride incorporates engine sounds and micro vibrations in the seats to enhance the feeling of traversing rough terrain. This page is dedicated to the unveiling of new robots from Honda and Sony, specifically focusing on bipedal robots as a dream for the 21st century. The article highlights the practical development of robots, showcasing Honda's Asimo and Sony's SDR3X. The section on Honda's Asimo details its specifications, including its height of 1,200 millimeters, weight of 43 kilograms, walking speed, and battery capabilities. It emphasizes ASIMO's advancements in walking technology, noting its smoother movements and improved directional changes compared to earlier models. The article points out its compact size and light weight, making it suitable for integration into human living environments, envisioning applications such as guidance, household assistance, and entertainment for children. The Sony SDR3X robot is introduced as a new prototype, described as the younger sibling of AIBO. It is emphasized that the SDR3X is geared towards entertainment, demonstrating its capabilities by kicking a soccer ball, suggesting future possibilities for robotic entertainment. The article concludes by highlighting the rapid progress in robot technology and hinting at future advancements, possibly including robots participating in sports like soccer. The article, Dream Navigator, Why Now? Network Search Party, explores the impending end of online services for Dreamcast games. It addresses player concerns about buying network-enabled games with temporary online play. The article highlights a trend of service terminations, listing games like Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 01, Gradius IV Fukatsu, and Derbitsuku along with their end dates. It categorizes service closures into 3 patterns: series-based games where newer titles replace older ones, seasonal games with limited service periods, and games whose services end due to a lack of profitability after roughly a year. The article emphasizes that player participation is crucial for maintaining online services, as low activity often leads to earlier termination. Screenshots showcase online gameplay and raise concerns about the longevity of even popular titles like Phantasy Star Online. The article concludes that network services are not permanent and encourages active participation to extend their lifespan. This page features an interview titled, "Here's the most popular network game of the moment," with Yamanishi Nobuyuki from Hitmaker, discussing the network services for Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. Yamanishi highlights that user support is the reason for the game's continued operation a year after release, despite initial network troubles. He explains the technical challenges of running network services and how they are managing server operations and costs. He mentions that Hitmaker's experience from the Saturn's XBAND era aids in efficient network game development and server management, potentially lowering costs for development and server usage. The interview touches on the financial aspect of network games, stating that revenue comes from game sales and network service fees. Yamanishi expresses a desire to continue network game services as long as possible, and emphasizes the importance of user participation and feedback to shape the future of network gaming. Screenshots from Virtual on Oratorio Tangram gameplay are shown. He also briefly mentions Power Smash, Virtua Tennis, as another game developed with network capabilities thanks to the accumulated knowledge. This page is a Dreamcast Magazine promotional page titled 21st Century Welcome, and is the 4th in a series of promotions. This issue includes a special bonus pin badge. Section 1 highlights Sonic Adventure, showcasing a screenshot and mentioning it as a Sobek venture. Section 2 features Space Channel 5, with a screenshot of Ulala, emphasizing the Welcome 21st Century theme. Section 3 presents Eternal Arcadia, known internationally as Skies of Arcadia, with a screenshot of the game's characters. Section 4 teases Shenmue 2, labeled Second Episode, Tentative, and Top Secret, suggesting it will feature unseen rare illustrations, and that purchasing the telecard will be the first time to see these images. Section 5, also marked Top Secret, promotes Danu Senki Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, continuing from the previous page's interview, and mentions it will feature super cool virtualoids in telecard form, emphasizing Virtual On's lasting appeal. Section 6, titled Sega Games Are the Best in the World, is illustrated by Something Yoshimatsu, showcasing a manga-style character and mentioning the new century and Dreamcast's appeal, advertising a special illustration for the telecard. Section 7, Various Things Soon Takamoto Izumi, features artwork by manga artist Takamoto Izumi, with 2 characters, stating the end of the 20th century and looking towards the 21st, suggesting a commemorative pin badge featuring these characters. This page showcases more Dreamcast telecard and pin badge sets, continuing the 21st Century Welcome promotion. Set 8, Guru Guru Creature Set, by Uekusa Yumiko, features characters dressed as Santa in a festive bucket, suggesting a Christmas theme. The text hints at a surprise item, as a present from Guru Guru Santa. Set 9, DC Game Tora no Ana Set, by Kuno Soko, displays an anime-style girl character. Set 10, Digilog Channel Set, by Utsuki Baruno, highlights the Welcome the 21st Century theme again. It teases the appearance of a new character and labels the set as an absolute must-have. Set 11, Game Review Set, by Tatsuneko, depicts a nurse character alongside a Dreamcast. The text mentions Dream-chan's dream and alludes to a game corner. The bottom part of the page details the application process for these telecard sets, setting a deadline of January 19, 2001. It outlines how to apply and important rules to follow for a valid application. The next page highlights Gauntlet Legends for the Dreamcast, a 3D action RPG by Midway, released in Japan on June 6, 2000, and priced at approximately 4,800 yen. This 14-player game, compatible with the VMU and Jump Pack, is rated TEN due to animated blood and violence. The article positions Gauntlet Legends, as a true successor to the classic Gauntlet series, promising enjoyable 3D action RPG gameplay that appeals to both veteran and new players. It describes core gameplay elements, like exploring deep dungeons, navigating maze-like environments, and solving puzzles. Screenshots illustrate the in-game action and characters, and the page also acknowledges the legacy of the original 1985 Gauntlet arcade game by Atari. This page delves into the multiplayer aspect of Gauntlet Legends on Dreamcast, highlighting it as a core element of the game. It emphasizes that up to 4 players can enjoy the game simultaneously, and now, unlike previous titles, all players can freely choose their preferred character. Each player's character data can be saved individually on the VMU. The article details the 8 playable characters, grouped into 4 classes. Warrior and Dwarf, described as powerful melee fighters. Knight and Valkyrie, versatile all-rounders. Wizard and Sorceress, masters of magic. And Jester and Archer, long-range attackers. Each class has slightly different attributes and combat styles catering to player preferences. Gameplay elements are also touched upon, covering combat which involves weapon attacks and melee when enemies get close, generators that spawn enemies continuously, food items for health recovery, and the threat of death, which appears to be a significant game mechanic. Finally, a section titled Good Old Days Gauntlet Viva expresses nostalgic feelings for the classic Gauntlet series, reminiscing about its memorable elements like endless waves of enemies, food, and iconic phrases. This page is about the Dreamcast game Sakura Wars Kinematron. It announces the release of the game on December 28th. This game lets you exchange emails with characters from the Sakura Wars Flower Division using your Dreamcast. It highlights that even beginners can easily use email with the help of these characters. You can choose a Flower Division member to navigate and assist you with sending and receiving emails. The page details features such as being able to use regular email, handle long messages without worry, manage memory and battery for saving emails, and integration with DP3, Dream Passport 3. It also shows screenshots of the email interface within the game, displaying options like creating new emails, reading received emails, and managing saved messages. It also shows game data details such as the release date, price, number of players, and supported peripherals like VGA and Dreamcast keyboard. The web page address for Sega is also shown. This page continues the introduction of Sakura Wars Kinematron and explains how to use the Flower Division mail feature in 4 simple steps. Choose the recipient, select letter paper, write your message, and finally add a stamp. It also details how to set up an address book and register friends. The page mentions an album mode, where using Kinematron unlocks visual content from Sakura Wars 1 and 2 as you use the software. Furthermore, a special Sakura Wars themed Dreamcast console and controller are announced for release on December 28, 2000, and will be bundled with Dream Passport 3 Sakura Wars version. The Sakura Dreamcast set is priced at 25,800 yen, and the matching controller is 2,800 yen. The next page is a special report from Dreamcast Magazine, focusing on the game Moero Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice. It announces, "Another new incident is happening. Burn! Justice!" For this game. Game data details that it's a Capcom release, scheduled for December 7th, costing 5,800 yen, or 300 points. It's a 12-player game using 12 blocks on the VMU, and the genre is ACT plus TAB, meaning action and tabletop board game elements are combined. The webpage address for Capcom is also listed. Supported features include VGA, VM, broadband and dial-up internet, link cable play, and controller/arcade stick compatibility. The arcade version, Naomi, is also mentioned as being in the works, and the Passionate Youth Diary mode allows for up to 4 players. A message from Capcom talks about Project Justice Academy, and how the development team drew in-game characters based on their favorite characters from the original, and added a new flavor with hot-blooded intensity. They hope players will enjoy it, and ask for support. Moero Justice Gakuen, Project Justice, offers accessible gameplay with simple 4-button controls, even for special moves. Story mode features a hot-blooded narrative told from multiple school perspectives, revealing a complete picture of events. Versus mode allows for local and online battles, with a training mode for skill development. A unique Dreamcast mode, Passionate Youth Diary, is a Sugoroku-style board game where players earn points on a school map. Success in the board game unlocks and develops original characters that can be used in the arcade version, even in tournaments, blurring the lines between board game progress and fighting game competition. This page continues the feature on Moero, Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice. It delves into basic combat tactics, starting with the hot blood combo as fundamental for offense. The guide explains that pressing buttons in sequence, weak punch, weak kick, then strong punch, executes this combo. It highlights a change from the previous game rival schools, where weak kick combos are less effective, encouraging players to utilize the hot blood combo with punches and kicks for strong attacks and combos. The page then moves on to aerial combat, explaining that if an opponent is launched into the air using a hot blood combo, it becomes an opportunity for a short air burst. This technique allows players to follow up and further attack airborne opponents. Finally, it introduces the air burst, an even more powerful aerial technique that can be used for high-damage combos when launching opponents high into the sky, offering more advanced combo possibilities than the short air burst. The screenshots illustrate these techniques in action, showcasing the visual impact of the combos and aerial follow-ups. This guide provides advanced techniques for Project Justice. It covers Guts Counters, a defensive maneuver against attacks that involves guarding and immediately using a special or directional attack. However, Guts Counters are vulnerable to throws, so the guide encourages players to use throws, weak punch and strong punch, against defensive opponents. It also details the Perfect Burning Attack, a super move requiring at least one level in the spirit gauge, ideal for exploiting openings. Team-up attacks are introduced, activated by correctly timing your tag button during an opponent's attack, and noted for their damage resistance. Players are also advised to use the correct throw, standing or crouching, based on the opponent's stance. Finally, the two-player throw counter system is revealed, allowing players to counter two-player throws by inputting the same command, thus nullifying the opponent's attack. The next page delves into character move lists for Mo, or Burning Justice, which is known internationally as Project Justice. The page showcases two characters, Batsu and Hinata, from Taiyo High School, and details their special moves, or Hisatsuwaza, and burning attacks, or Kanzenwaza. For Batsu, the move list includes Spirit Bullet, Guts Upper, 3-Day Moon Kick, and Shooting Star Kick. His complete burning attack, or Kanzen options, are Complete Burning Spirit Bullet, Complete Burning Guts Upper, and Complete Burning Shooting Star Kick. The page also mentions Love and Friendship 2 Platoon 2, and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon 3, as combination attacks. Hinata. For Hinata, the page details her Spirit Success Palm Bottom, Ascending Sun Palm, Flame Dance Kick, and Continuous Leg Bullet. Her complete burning attack options are Certain Victory Continuous Strikes Palm and Spiral Flame Dance Kick. She also has the same Love and Friendship 2 Platoon and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon combination attacks. This page continues the character introductions for Moeru Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice, focusing on Kyosuke and Shoma. Kyosuke, the enigmatic disciplinary committee member, is highlighted as a versatile fighter with a variety of techniques. His special moves include Crosscutter, Phantom Shadow Kick, Thunder God Upper, and Phantom Shadow Breaker. His complete combustion attacks, or powered-up moves, are Expansion Crosscutter, Double Phantom Shadow Kick, and Super Thunder God Upper. The developer notes mention that Kyosuke was initially designed to be very strong, but is now portrayed as a calm character, with techniques that focus on aerial combat and speed. Shoma, the explosive baseball general from Gorin High School, is presented as a powerful character centered around baseball moves using a metal bat. His special moves are Super Fast Ball, Big Rotation Batting, One-Shot Fishing Batting, and Niagara Drop. His complete combustion attacks are Clone Magic Ball, Home Run Batting, and Super Killer Sliding. The developer commentary describes Shoma as a passionate baseball player with powerful batting techniques, although they suggest his moves might be tricky to master. Both Kyosuke and Shoma share team attacks, Love and Friendship 2 Platoon, Last Symphony, and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, Final Symphony for Kyosuke, and Love and Friendship 2 Platoon, Grand Slam and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, Heated Blood Great Wheel for Shoma. The next page continues introducing characters from Moeru, Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice, this time focusing on Natsu and Roberto. Natsu, from Gorin High School, is described as a powerful attacker, specializing in volleyball techniques and aerial combat. She is depicted as a character who aggressively attacks the opponent, aiming to inflict significant damage with powerful spikes. Her special moves are listed as entry serve, sliding receive, rotation receive, complete block, special training spike, and fire serve, with an upgraded version called Magic Heavenly Sky Serve. Her team attacks are Love and Friendship 2 Platoon, Fight 100-fold, Guts Recovery, and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, Heated Blood Great Wheel. The developer comments highlight her air combo potential and the strength of her new Magic Heavenly Sky Serve. Roberto, also from Gorin High School, is introduced as a tenacious goalkeeper who has recovered from injuries. He is described as a versatile player who is skilled in various techniques, including long shoot, shining save, perfect catch, overhead kick, and bicycle kick. His complete combustion attacks are Explosive V Goal and Explosive Lifting. His team attacks are Love and Friendship 2 Platoon, Trap W Shoot, and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, Heated Blood Great Wheel. The developer notes emphasize Roberto's all-around capabilities, capable of handling various situations with moves like Perfect Catch and powerful, complete combustion attacks. They also mention his ability to use aerial moves and close-range combat techniques, making him a formidable opponent. The next page continues with character introductions for Moeru Justice Gakuen, known as Project Justice internationally. This page highlights Bowman and the committee chairman. Bowman from Pacific High School is a boxer-type character emphasizing punch-based combat. He utilizes boxing techniques like God Rush, God Straight, God Hook, and God Lariat, alongside moves like God Defense, Heaven's Rush, and Heaven's Cross. His fighting style focuses on overwhelming opponents with a flurry of punches. His team attacks are the Love and Friendship 2 Platoon, W Powerbuster, and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, Triple Heaven's Cross. The committee chairman from Taiyo Academy is a Ken Masters-style karate user. He is described as employing various karate styles like Gale Style, Rising Dragon Style, Purple Lightning Style, Crushing Rock Style, and Forward Falling Style. He also has moves called Performance Disclosure and Persuasion Attack. His fighting style uses standard techniques to exploit openings in the opponent's defense. His team attacks are Love and Friendship 2 Platoon, Committee Chairman's 1-point advice, and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, Horse Falling Drop. The next page introduces two more characters from Moeru, Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice. First is Rand, the Scoop High School girl. Her fighting style revolves around using a camera. She uses flash attacks, but players need to be mindful of film, requiring a film exchange move to reload. Her special moves include Flash Attack, Scoop, Film Exchange, Super Flash Attack, and Breakthrough Interview. Her team attacks are the Love and Friendship 2 Platoon and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon. The second character is Edge, the knife-throwing platoon leader. Edge is skilled in knife throwing, utilizing various knife-based techniques. His moves include Backstrike Throw, Anti-Air Backstrike Throw, Collapse Down, Destruction, Relentless Backstrike Throw, and Blood Festival. He also has team attacks called Love and Friendship 2 Platoon and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon. The next page continues the character introductions for Moeru, Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice. First up is Kyosuke Ishizaki, described as the Mighty Stone from Jado High School and the Delinquent Boss. He is a large and powerful character who fights with brute strength. His special moves include Iron Hammer Strike, Crush Tackle, Avalanche Drop, Great Whirlwind, Rampage Iron Hammer Strike, Volcano Eruption, and Snowslide Drop. His team attacks are Love and Friendship 2 Platoon and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon. Next is Daigo Kazama, the Jito High School Supreme Leader. He is described as a truly masculine character, preferring direct combat over tricky techniques or weapons. His special moves include Peerless Thrust, Peerless Back Thrust, Great Earth Splitter, Kai Power Bullet, True Peerless Thrust, True Vigor Back, Hard Kai Power Bullet. His team attacks are Love and Friendship 2 Platoon and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, and also Jido Style Solo. Project Justice introduces 2 new characters. E.g. Edge Yamada, a righteous teacher using orthodox fighting techniques, and Kyoko Shirayuki, the white-clothed devil, specializing in grappling. E.g. utilizes moves like Seiha Ken and Manen Kyaku alongside aerial techniques, and has team attacks with Shimazu Ryo and Ranhao. Kyoko's grappling style features moves such as Touch Diagnosis and Naraku Fall, and she has team attacks with various characters. Capcom highlights E.G.'s hero-teacher persona, comparing his look to Matrix. They emphasize Kyoko's devastating joint locks and throws, highlighting her strategic dominance. The page includes gameplay screenshots of both characters demonstrating their signature moves. The next page introduces 2 more characters for Project Justice. Hayato from Taiyo Academy is a spirited character who fights with a bamboo sword and relies on his ki, or fighting spirit, for powerful moves. His signature techniques include the Neketsu Zantetsuto, hot-blooded bamboo sword, which can be used in the air, the Ki Knuckle, Ki Kick, Kaiten Zantetsuto Otoshi, rotating bamboo sword drop, and the Neketsu Tate Fushime, hot-blooded standing. He also has Neketsu Cross Counter and Neketsu Furin Senpu, hot-blooded Gale Whirlwind, moves. Akira, from Seijun Girls Academy, is a kung fu rider described as a close-to-mid-range combatant. She uses a variety of moves, including Keishun Mon and Senrin Bu. Her fighting style incorporates combos like the Haten Renkyaku, Heavenly Leg Barrage, and techniques such as Kiku Hao, Hano Renkyaku, and Haten Musu Kon. Both characters have 2-person platoons and 3-person platoons team attacks as well. The page showcases screenshots of both Hayato and Akira in action, demonstrating their unique fighting styles and moves. This page spotlights 2 new characters for Project Justice. Zaki, known as the Sukeban leader, uses a chain and menacing glare in her fighting style, described as the Sukeban style. Her special moves include chain-based attacks like Breaking Iron Chain, Poisonous Snake Chain, Glare Chain, and Sukeban Pride, as well as full combustion attack moves, Electric Light Iron Chain, and Inabakatsu Glare Chain. The page also introduces Eureka, the Melody Princess, from Seijun Girls Academy, who fights with a violin and musical notes. Her move list includes musical-themed attacks like Melancholy Serenade, Melancholy Waltz, Deep Mendelssohn, Lullaby of Fallen Leaves, Nocturne of the Underworld, Lament of Love Requiem, and Call Out Rondo, with Exciting Concerto and Saint Girl's Iron String as team attacks. Both characters are detailed with screenshots showing their moves in action. Zaki is shown using her chain and glare attacks, while Eureka is depicted gracefully attacking with her violin and musical notes. The text elaborates on Zaki's chain-based combat and Eureka's elegant violin fighting style, noting her balletic movements and unique gameplay. It mentions that Eureka's attacks include violin bow and musical notes, emphasizing her refined and stylish combat approach. The next page introduces Momo, a heart smash type character who uses a racket adorned with hearts. She employs tennis-style attacks like Horu Serve, Serve and Volley, and Spin Smash. Her move list includes Bata Bata Racket, Jayan Swing, Datako Attack, and Mo Crush. She also has team attacks like Human Wall Hit and Hot-Blooded Big Wheel. The page also features Nagar, the Sleeping Flying Fish, a swimmer from Gorin University. He fights using swimming-based moves such as Tobikomi, Dive, Jinku Kokyu, Artificial Respiration, Hirayogi Kick, Breaststroke Kick, Kojin Medley, Individual Medley, and Chao Batashi, Super Butterfly Kick. His team attacks are Love and Friendship 2 Platoon, Synchronized Attack, and Justice and Courage 3 Platoon, Hot-Blooded Big Wheel. Both characters are from Capcom's Project Justice, and the text highlights their unique fighting styles and movesets within the game. This page focuses on the network features of Phantasy Star Online Trial Edition, which is counting down to its release in 20 days. The game is described as a massively multiplayer online RPG for Dreamcast, where players explore a shared online world. The page details the server structure, explaining that servers are called ships and within each ship there are multiple blocks and LOBBYs. The Trial Edition had 4 SHIP servers, with 10 BLOCKs and 10 LOBBYs each. Each visual lobby could accommodate up to 12 players simultaneously. It's mentioned that the retail version details are still unknown regarding server capacity. The page explains how to find other players online using character names or ID numbers. Guild cards can be exchanged to facilitate connections. Once players leave the lobby and enter cities and exploration zones, they can freely move within their team's instance of the world, meaning teams are separated. It also details how to form teams with passwords, allowing private groups, but also the option to play with random players. Screenshots show in-game interfaces including chat windows, guild card exchanges, and character interactions in the lobby and exploration areas. The game is set to release on December 21st and will cost 6,800 yen, 360 points. Network connection fees are also mentioned as 400 yen for 30 days, or 1,000 yen for 90 days. The game is an RPG and supports 1 to 4 players online. Phantasy Star Online (PSO) Trial Edition allows for both solo and multiplayer experiences, with players able to coordinate using the area map. The game minimizes lag through direct Dreamcast connections and independent processing. Combat utilizes the Action Palette, a real-time system where players assign frequently used actions, attacks, techniques, items, to buttons. The Word Select feature provides preset phrases for quick communication during battles. A unique feature of PSO is the ability to control your character while navigating menus. Players can move their character with the analog stick and simultaneously use directional buttons to access and use menus, adding a dynamic and strategic element to the gameplay. This Phantasy Star Online Countdown article focuses on character creation and the Pioneer 2 city. Character creation has race-based job restrictions. Pioneer 2 serves as a hub for licensed hunters, featuring several key facilities. The city includes a weapon shop and armor shop, with inventory scaling to character level. A tool shop sells items like recovery items and disc items for learning techniques. Game data autosaves upon map transitions and city returns. Other facilities include the check room for safe storage, a medical center for healing status ailments, and an appraisal shop for identifying unknown items, with a chance of failure and item loss. The Quest section of Phantasy Star Online focuses on exploration, emphasizing gates as key dividing points in quest zones. Players defeat monsters to progress and open gates, utilizing them strategically for leveling up. Item collection is vital. Found items are remnants from Pioneer 1, with defensive equipment like frames and armors customizable with option parts, e.g., Uga Power, that enhance character stats through slots. Combat involves returning to the city to recover TP and manage inventory. Defeat results in either teammate revival using items or a return to the city, losing equipped weapons and money unless retrieved. The article also introduces MAG, a floating equipment piece that grows by consuming items, changing appearance as it levels. MAGs possess a Photon Blast special move, activated by the Photon Gauge, unleashing skills like Photon Mirage. This page is a feature on Phantasy Star Online, counting down to its release and focusing on the cave area within the game. The article details the cave's environment, filled with lava, and sets the objective of reaching the central dome's water source. The page highlights the altered beasts that players will encounter in the cave, describing them as monsters with camel-like arms and 2 legs. It showcases several types of these beasts. Evil Shark, a beast-type enemy. Glass Assassin, another beast-type enemy that can become invisible. Poison Lily, a plant-like enemy located in watery areas that uses poison. Pan Arms, an enemy described as combining and separating to attack, found deep in the cave. The article also warns about traps within the cave, questioning who created these artificial hazards. It introduces 2 types of traps. Darkness Battle, where the lights go out, making it harder to see enemies. Switch Trap, a trap that explodes unexpectedly when triggered. Finally, the page compares the native life forms in the forest to the cave's altered beasts, noting that cave creatures are more monstrous in form. It introduces further monster types. Jigobuma, a native-type enemy compared to gorillas and noted for its agile movements. Monist, a native-type enemy, insect-like, with a symbiotic relationship with Mosmint. Ildir, a native-type enemy, described as gorilla-like, but with cold breath that can freeze. The page concludes by reiterating the release date of Phantasy Star Online as December 21, 2000. The next page delves deeper into the Phantasy Star Online cave exploration, focusing on the underground waterways and a colossal boss monster lurking there. This boss is called De Role, described as a giant snake-like creature. The article details the battle against De Role in the waterway, emphasizing the need to predict its attack patterns and utilize recovery items. Screenshots showcase various attack patterns of De Role, including laser beams and physical strikes, and highlight combat scenarios for different character classes like Hunter, Ranger, and Force. The page also explains how defeating dungeon bosses like De Role progresses the story and changes dialogue with NPCs back in the city, emphasizing the game's narrative progression linked to quest completion. Finally, it mentions that the next issue, releasing December 8th, will feature the trial edition of Phantasy Star Online, which won't include offline single-player. This page focuses on the Dreamcast version of Fighting Vipers 2. It emphasizes that the Dreamcast version will perfectly recreate the arcade experience, highlighting features like armor destruction and the undressing elements, which are described as impactful and a key part of the game's appeal. The page details the Super KO system, where landing a final blow with a Super KO when the opponent has no armor results in a 2-round victory, and flashy effects like falling meteorites. It also mentions special color costumes for Honey, including a skirtless version, suggesting these will be selectable in the Dreamcast version. The article notes that while Honey's event-limited costumes weren't in the arcade, similar colored costumes will be available on Dreamcast, along with other hidden arcade elements. The page includes screenshots showcasing armor destruction effects and Honey in different costumes. Game Data provides a release date of January 18, 2001, a price of 5,800 yen, 300 points, and lists the genre as ACT, action/fighting. The bottom of the page features a large image with key characters from Fighting Vipers 2. The text also mentions that the sample ROM has arrived at the editorial department, suggesting this is a preview based on a near-final version. It notes the game is 100% complete and credits Koichi Tokunaga for character design, and reveals he joined Sega 3 years prior, working on the Fighting Vipers 2 design. This page unveils the Dreamcast version game modes for Fighting Vipers 2 and character secrets to celebrate the game's 3rd anniversary. It details several game modes: arcade mode, which follows the arcade version progression, random mode where opponents are randomly selected, VS mode for 2-player battles or against the CPU with customizable settings, team battle for team-based matches up to 8 characters, survival mode testing endurance against endless opponents, training mode for practicing moves and adjusting CPU behavior, and internet mode unique to the Dreamcast, allowing access to a homepage for online score rankings and competition with players nationwide. The page also features a scoop interview revealing character secrets for Fighting Vipers 2. The interview highlights that Fighting Vipers was born from AM2R&D as a different approach from Virtua Fighter 2, focusing on realistic brawling but with armored characters using weapons like guitars and skateboards. Character designer Ima Toons, known for creating attractive characters like Kimutaku, Tokyo, and Honey, was brought in as a new illustrator for 2. The game leverages the Power VR Model 3 board, industry-leading at the time, to achieve powerful armor breaks. The interview promises previously untold character birth stories and episodes directly from Mr. Toons, and notes he was 25 years old when he designed the CF characters for Suntory CC Lemon and joined the Fighting Vipers 2 project, with the interview delving into his design process and character secrets. A character sketch by Ima Toons is also visible. Ima Toons, the illustrator for Fighting Vipers 2, discusses the game's character design origins. Sega AM2 conceived the idea, aiming for a departure from Virtua Fighter 2, with armored characters wielding weapons like guitars. Toons was brought in to illustrate the sequel after being contacted by someone from BM's. He was tasked with character designs. Honey's design was influenced by Sega's guidelines, with Toons refining the initial concept. He initially envisioned an even more extravagant design. He also created a biker-themed character with a guitar-shaped flying V weapon, initially considering a double guitar with a heavy metal aesthetic. Toons emphasizes the detailed line art in his designs, refined with correction fluid, and then scanned for coloring and modeling. He found the Model 3 board capable of handling almost anything, and spent considerable time crafting the designs due to his limited CG experience at the time. Illustrator Ima Toons discusses his work on Fighting Vipers 2, focusing on the core concept of destruction and its evolution from the first game's iron armor to bolt joints. He highlights the importance of visualizing movement through drawings and his love for robot anime aesthetics. Tons reflects on working on various Sega projects, including DJ Wars. He details the separate creation of illustrations and game characters, appreciating the creative freedom. He elaborates on character designs, Charlie's biker theme and guitar weapon, Honey's refinement from an extravagant design, and Raxel's adjusted height. Ellamy's design shifted from armor to a manga style. Tukolian's also added character emblems. He expresses enjoyment of the game and encourages players to enjoy it. Finally, a contest is announced for a signed print, requiring readers to submit impressions by December 15th. In a pre-release interview, Arc System Works developers Daisuke Ishiwatari, producer, and Nobuhiro Doi, programmer, discussed the upcoming Dreamcast port of Guilty Gear X. Ishiwatari, the series creator, oversaw character design, graphics, sound, and overall production. Doi, primarily an arcade game programmer, tackled his first Dreamcast project. They detailed challenges in porting the NAOMI arcade version to Dreamcast, aiming for a comprehensive conversion with added content. They addressed issues like the tight Christmas release deadline and bug fixes. The team clarified player feedback about the dash attack, explaining its intended design. Guilty Gear X is slated for a December 14th release, priced at 5,800 yen, with support for 12 players and classified as an action game. The first print includes a special color GD label and a shaped CD. Screenshots highlight the game's fast-paced fighting action. This page continues to unveil original elements for the Dreamcast version of Guilty Gear X, highlighting even more new features. The Watch mode is introduced as an original feature for the Dreamcast, allowing players to learn from high-level CPU battles by watching matches between computer-controlled opponents. It is stated this mode is intended for players to improve their skills by observing advanced tactics. A box lists the confirmed original features for the Dreamcast version: VS mode, training mode, survival mode, recording mode, watch mode, and the availability of Dizzy and Testament as playable characters. Screenshots throughout the page showcase the fast-paced gameplay of Guilty Gear X. The staff interview continues, focusing on the development of the survival mode and recording mode. The developers mentioned they wanted to further refine the survival mode. They discussed the inclusion of golden characters in survival mode, noting these special characters have fixed stats, while regular character stats dynamically change as the player progresses through levels. This variation in character status is emphasized as a key characteristic of the survival mode in the Dreamcast version. Guilty Gear X on Dreamcast features an intense survival mode with increasingly difficult CPU opponents, including powerful golden character variations. The Dreamcast version offers 11 character color variations, compared to the Naomi Arcade's 5. An interview with Ishiwatari reveals the development team's playful implementation of character variations, which he describes as ura settai, or hidden settings. He also discusses the origin of the Roman cancel mechanic, named internally for its perceived coolness. Ishiwatari expresses gratitude for the game's positive reception, especially the enthusiastic support for Roman cancel, surpassing even previous entries. The development team hopes players enjoy the Dreamcast version, emphasizing their focus on providing a unique action game experience. The next page showcases a fan participation corner dedicated to Guilty Gear X. It features a report on a Dreamcast version of GGX's storefront game tournament held at SoftMap on November 12th. Where 8 players competed, and prizes like GGX bandanas and towels were awarded to 5 winners each. The page includes photos from the event and comments from participants mentioning their love for Orange and the high skill level of pad players. Additionally, there's a GGX gallery section displaying fan-submitted color illustrations from different prefectures, each with artist names and comments praising the color variations in the Dreamcast version. The page also has a cosplay support zone featuring photos of cosplayers and a section titled This Week's One-Shot Kill, with a Christmas-themed illustration, likely related to Guilty Gear X. The next page introduces Macross M3, describing it as a dogfight action game that brings the thrill of the Macross anime series to life. It highlights the game's focus on recreating intense aerial combat, a core element of the Macross universe, in a shooting game format. The page emphasizes that Macross M3 will deliver the exciting dogfights that fans expect, and that it is essentially Macross the game. It notes that fans are highly anticipating Macross M3 for its new storyline, original characters, and the appeal of the Valkyrie mecha. The page announces the premiere of the game's opening movie and mentions that this feature will reveal the details of the machines and the system aspects of the game. The page includes game data information indicating a planned release in February 2001 with 1 disc and categorized as SHT 3D shooting. It also features a website address and a special Dreamcast Magazine report section stating the game is 80% complete. Valkyrie Pilots, 3 Pilots Ride, introduces 3 pilots for Macross M3, Maximilian Genius, Milia Felina Genius, and Mylene Flare Genius. Players select a Valkyrie and then a pilot, changing the fighter's color. The game is set after the Earth Zentradi Wars. Maximilian Genius, a skilled ace, is known for his calm demeanor. Milia Falinana Genius, a Zentradi ace, and Max's wife, also boasts impressive combat skills, piloting a red Valkyrie. Mylene Flare Genius, their youngest daughter, born Zentradi and raised on Earth, pilots a purple Valkyrie in the Dancing Skull Squadron. The page also details the VF-1 Valkyrie's development, stemming from recovered alien technology in 1999. It briefly mentions the VF-3000 as a successor, and the variable Glaug, Mylene's personal unit, a micronized Zentradi battle pod. Screenshots and artwork showcase the pilots, fighters, and in-game action. Dreamcast Magazine's Variable Fighters File 2 explores Macross's VF series from 2012 to 2020. It highlights the VF-4, a space-focused fighter, the VF-5000, a versatile atmospheric fighter developed with improved Zentradi tech, and the VF-9, an early design with forward-swept wings. The magazine also previews the game's aerial combat, emphasizing the Valkyrie's 3 transformation modes for tactical maneuvers. A system plugin feature allows players to customize mecha performance with plugins that increase stats like action time, lock-on speed, and damage reduction. Newer models like the VF-14 have greater plugin capacity than older ones like the VF-1. This page continues the Variable Fighters File section, now focusing on Macross M3. It highlights technical commands in the game, which are special actions players can use by consuming action points. 2 commands are detailed: Fighter Form, Flare Dispersion, which is used to evade missiles by scattering flares from the rear of the aircraft, and Batroid Form, Gun Pod Continuous Fire, where the Batroid continuously fires its gun pod to intercept missiles. Another command, Batroid Form, Missile Frontal Firing, is also mentioned, described as a powerful attack style seen in the original work with armored Valkyries, adapted in the game for various mecha types to unleash power in enclosed situations. The page also includes a news section announcing a VF-1 Valkyrie scale model, manufactured by Hasegawa, available in 1/72nd scale as VF-1A and VF-1J versions. These models feature movable vector nozzles, detailed cockpit, and realistic instrument panels. Finally, the page asks, Variable Fighters File Plus, are there any other units appearing? Suggesting that Macross M3 is set between the early TV series and the OVA Macross Plus, and hinting at the possibility of other mecha appearing in the game with potentially higher specs and communication-related functions. This page showcases Eve Zero, the latest title in the EV series focusing on the protagonist of the first game, Kojiro Amaji. It's presented as the Kojiro side, delving into his daily life as a detective. The game's story begins with a carefree female voice disrupting the quiet office, as indicated by the Eyes May 28 caption, possibly hinting at a date within the game. The article suggests a routine day for Kojiro is interrupted by a case. Game details are provided. It's an adventure game, ADP, by Game Village, slated for release on March 22, 2001, at a price of 7,800 yen. There's also a website listed, http://www.eve0.com/top.html. The screenshots and text describe the initial case, a seemingly simple request to find a missing boy, brought in by a gossip source. Kojiro takes it on as a change of pace from his usual desk work. Another character, Yayoi, is introduced as someone who seems to be aware of Kojiro's client, suggesting she is part of the detective agency setup. The article indicates that the case and the encounter with this woman is how the story unfolds. This page continues the feature on Eve Zero, focusing on the start of the game's mystery and character introductions. The case begins with a client, Mr. Ninomiya Hidetoshi, the father of a missing boy. Ninomiya is a renowned genetics researcher and head of a genetics research institute, but initial questioning yields little useful information. The investigation then shifts to the boys' school and the Central Avenue area, a popular spot for young people. We're introduced to more characters as the investigation unfolds. Yayoi, who seems to know the client, is encountered at Central Avenue. The investigation also extends to the private middle school the boy attends, though information gathering proves challenging, especially regarding social circles. Another character is introduced, seemingly a senior figure in the detective agency, who urges Kojiro to get a grip, hinting at some pressure or expectation on him as an acting director. Then there's Nitudu, a rival detective from the same agency, who sees Kojiro as a rival and is also investigating the case, turning it into a competition. Finally, a friendly freelance cameraman shows up, who knows Kojiro and adds another layer to the supporting cast. The page also explains that Kojiro dislikes Yayoi because of her reputation as a gossip. However, she is portrayed as a capable detective despite this. The EV0 investigation intensifies, focusing on the client, Ninomiya, and raising Detective Kojiro's suspicions. Gossip-prone Yayoi questions Kojiro's reliance on informants. The investigation into Ninomiya's missing son becomes more complex. An informant named Glenn reveals potentially illegal dealings linked to Ninomiya. Glenn discloses information about the funding of Ninomiya's research institute, including connections to an American company, Fulbright, and Ninomiya's father's association with a criminal gang. Fulbright's withdrawal of investment is causing financial issues for the institute. A section by journalist Akane-chan provides gameplay tips. The game features a streamlined save/load system using a single button and directional inputs. Screenshots and diagrams are included. Key characters, Glenn, the informant, and Akane-chan, the journalist, are introduced, highlighting their roles in the narrative and gameplay. This page reveals more about the EVE-0 story. It starts with a mysterious airmail, with an unknown sender arriving at Kojiro's detective agency, hinting at information about Yayoi's father. Kojiro is thinking about the implications of this. The page then teases the next developments, asking, "Whereabouts of runaway boy Shin?" and "Who is the mysterious beauty?" This suggests the plot will involve a missing boy named Shin and an enigmatic woman. Journalist Akane-chan is back with more EVE-0 information, focusing on gameplay tips and character interactions. She highlights how the game lets you choose dialogue options like praise or scold when talking to the character Botan, demonstrating the interactive elements. Another section called One-Sided Marina Site, What's It Like?, mentions marina site and public security, hinting at a different gameplay perspective focused on marina and involving crime investigation. Finally, there's a topic Internet Online information page about EV Online. It introduces the EV series website, where players can access information, illustrations, and special content related to the EV games, including EVE0 Online. The web address is provided as www.eve0.com/top.html. The next page is an extra edition of the Dreamcast Summit, featuring a brain dialogue between Tetsuya Mizuguchi and Kenichi Nishi. They discuss their first encounter and how they started working together. It seems they met around December 30th, possibly 2 years prior, and Mizuguchi mentioned being at Sega at the time, around the time of the Tokyo Game Show, and meeting in Kyoto. They delve into game development, touching upon titles they were working on, specifically LOL and Space Channel 5. Nishi praises Space Channel 5 for its amazing product design, highlighting the graphics, sound, and overall system, including even the manual and advertising approach. Mizuguchi admits he has only played the first stage of LOL, and they discuss the feeling and experience of game creation and playing, and how sometimes they find other things more interesting than talking about their own games. Channel 5 is also mentioned in relation to the Shibuya QFRONT area and its vibrant atmosphere. This page continues the Dreamcast Summit Extra Edition with Tetsuya Mizuguchi and Kenichi Nishi. They are still discussing their game projects, Lack of Love, known as LOL, and Space Channel 5. They talk about Sakamoto Ryuichi's involvement in LOL, and how well the music and game are integrated. Mizuguchi mentions wearing a full-body suit for motion capture during development. They refer to the game worlds as the world of Sakamoto, LOL, and the world of Michael Channel 5. Highlighting the significant influence of these musicians. There's a mention of the LOL soundtrack jacket, designed by Nakajima Hideki. The conversation touches on Michael Jackson's interest in appearing in Space Channel 5. Apparently he sent tapes to Sega saying, "Help," as he wanted to be included in the game, showing his enthusiasm. There is a question and answer section, where Nishi gives advice on scenario writing. He emphasizes the importance of clearly conveying the intended message to the player and ensuring the protagonist's emotions are effectively communicated so players understand the narrative. The page includes screenshots from Space Channel 5 featuring Ulala and other characters in action. One screenshot from LOL illustrates the game's life gauge mechanic, where the player's body size dynamically changes, directly impacting the gameplay experience. Kenichi Nishi discusses game development, emphasizing that character details and scenarios are refined later in the process, akin to building a house. Characters undergo significant iterations, often surprising the creators upon revisiting. He receives initial scenario concepts, like character roles, from others. Nishi also discusses Lovedelic, the company he co-founded to create games. He highlights his collaboration with Kudo, from Square to the creation of Moon and UFO. While LOL is developed in a separate office for branding, Lovedelic remains an active brand, though they prefer focusing on the game titles themselves. Lovedelic is no longer affiliated with Skip and operates from a new office, prioritizing game branding over company affiliation. At the Dreamcast Summit, Tetsuya Mizuguchi and Kenichi Nishi discussed game development as a form of artistic expression. Mizuguchi, formerly of Sega and now leading United Game Artists, views all developers as artists. He discussed his projects, including the enduring popularity of Space Channel 5, and hinted at an upcoming title. Nishi, of LOL fame, expressed fatigue with text-based games, but considered revisiting the genre. They estimated their new titles were at various stages of completion. The interview also featured movie recommendations. Mizuguchi selected La Jetée, and Nishi chose Momotaro's Sea Eagles. The page concluded with promotions for Dreamcast Summit updates and merchandise sales. This page presents a special interview titled The Allure of Racing and the Future of Games, featuring Formula Nippon driver Ryo Mishigami and Yuji Naka from Sonic Team. The interview explores the common ground between professional racing and video games. It highlights that despite their different fields, both Mishigami and Naka have surprising similarities and a shared interest in games. Formula Nippon is described as the top formula car racing in Japan, a category recognized by FIA, emphasizing its high level of competition and similar to F1. Mishigami mentions that he is a big fan of games, especially racing and RPGs, and enjoys playing them since childhood. He has even recently started playing racing games on a circuit. The page includes images of Sonic the Hedgehog and Knight's plush toys, hinting at the Sega connection and Naka's involvement with these iconic characters. This page continues the interview between Formula Nippon driver Ryo Mishigami and Yuji Naka of Sonic Team, focusing on the incredible G-force experienced in Formula car racing. Mishigami recounts his surprise at the G-force during a two-seater Formula car ride, reinforcing his appreciation for car games. He mentions that he enjoys car games, and particularly enjoyed Shenmue, eager for a sequel. Naka expresses his ambition to create a drive game that realistically captures the sensation of G-force, envisioning future games that could simulate this experience. He mentions his previous work on Daytona USA, Monaco Grand Prix, and F355 Challenge as inspirations, and mentions his current projects including Samba de Amigo and the new Sonic Adventure, which he is also working on. The page concludes with details of a special giveaway to commemorate the interview. Prizes include a signed cap from Ryo Mishigami for 1 winner, and a racing controller for 5 winners. To enter, readers need to send a postcard with their address, name, occupation, and impressions of the article before the deadline of December 14, 2000. This page is a feature focusing on the baseball management simulation game, Motto Professional Baseball. Let's create a team. The guest, Inaba Sakura, is playing the game and expressing her reactions. The page starts by highlighting that, even in the off-season, professional baseball is still a hot topic. Inaba Sakura receives the game, described as one where you become the president of a professional baseball team. She seems surprised by the game's budget management aspects, exclaiming about a budget of 8 billion. She is shown selecting players, with a list of names like Furuta, Ito, Ishii, and others visible. The gameplay scenario involves choosing players and encountering unexpected situations, like a player named Korosuke, who is revealed to be problematic despite being a player she created herself within the game. The text mentions that the name Korosuke could only be displayed in 3 characters due to limitations. The overall tone suggests a humorous and engaging experience playing the game, highlighting the challenges and surprises of managing a professional baseball team in Motto Professional Baseball, Let's Create a Team. This page is a reader corner called Dream Maga Hiroba. The Free Talk with Robo section mentions that editor robot Tomi is saying goodbye as Kisaki-san is going on maternity leave, and this is the last issue for Drispo. They discuss Shenmue as a legendary title and mention Dreampoint Bank and VM units being out of stock. They also talk about nicknames in Phantasy Star Online and discuss the game Raku-Cell and U2. The discussion also includes Tricolor Crisis, with readers giving it nicknames like Torikura and Torikoro. They mention Volume 38 and the editor robot, and joke about naming all characters in Grandia as Tamari. A reader mentions playing The House of the Dead 2. The Dreamcast Hiroba section features reader submissions. There's an image submission of Echo the Dolphin. Another submission shows a drawing of Metil. There is a character drawing named Wahei. A photo submission features Uyama Masamichi. Reader Watanabe Masaaki from Hokkaido talks about wanting to cosplay as the ISIS body and expresses anger at being unable to do so. Rumi Yan from Tokyo writes about waiting for Mega Driver on Dreamcast. 30 Yen from Hiroshima comments on machine bodies. Uyama Masamichi from Chiba Prefecture talks about games and dreams. The Dorihiro Weekly section is a calendar listing events from December 1st, Friday, to December 7th, Thursday. It includes movie release dates such as Europa Universalis, World AIDS Day, International Day of Disabled Persons, and various birthdays. This page features the Dream Maga Art Club, showcasing reader-submitted illustrations. The theme for the next submissions is 21st Century Left Behind Masterpiece and Character, due by December 12th. Artwork examples include a tennis player called Power Smash, characters drawn by Balin, a bunny girl, an RPG group, a girl with wings inspired by Jet Set Radio, and a sorrowful horse rider. Each illustration includes comments appreciating the artwork's details and style. Below the art submissions are Dream Maga's movie recommendations. They feature Pitch Black, described as an Isaac Asimov-inspired sci-fi suspense film about survivors on a dark planet facing terrifying creatures. The second movie is Leslie Nielsen's 2001 Space Odyssey Trip, a parody comedy and the latest in a series, promising a funny and over-the-top experience. Finally, there's a movie ranking chart. Top movies include Charlie's Angels, Ju-on, The Curse 2, The Laws of the Sun, El Cantare's Path, Space Cowboys, Shaft, Tales of the Unusual Movie Special Edition, Autumn in New York, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Call, and The City of Lost Souls. The next page showcases more artwork submissions for the Dream Maga Art Club. Continuing from the previous page, there are illustrations of characters described with short comments, including a character from Aomori Prefecture with sparkling eyes, a character from Saitama Prefecture, a group of characters from Miyagi Prefecture, characters from Kagawa Prefecture, a character from Kanagawa Prefecture, a character from Shizuoka Prefecture, a character from Nara Prefecture, and a character from Aichi Prefecture. This page also advertises the Hiroji Hayama and Brothers Live 20th Century Otoshimaya event for a promotion video public recording on December 10th at Paradise Hall in Tokyo. Tickets are priced at 3,800 yen in advance and 4,000 yen on the day. Additionally, there's information about Shirani Radio Station, an internet radio service with content related to games and anime, featuring Hiroji Hayama's Jamani Paradise and Hiroji Hayama's Brotherhood programs, offering game and anime information and stories. Finally, there's an announcement for Hiroji Hayama's Game Music Special Lecture, Artists Mindset Lecture, taking place on Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Music School Voice Factory. This page from Dreamcast Magazine, titled Namco Theater, focuses on Namco-related news and reader interaction. It highlights Mr. Driller merchandise, specifically candy and gummy sweets featuring characters from the game, including stickers to collect. There's also a giveaway of these items. The Gobinyudo section is about reader-submitted phrases, or gobi. It includes examples of reader submissions and a table of existing gobi with their origins, like JYO from Osomatsu-kun and Nari from Kitaretsu Daihaka. The magazine encourages readers to send in their own gobi. The Book Me section recommends manga and novels. It features Magic Point, a comic book about a protagonist who needs to raise their magic point to be popular. It also recommends Go Go Monster, a manga centered on a young boy named Yuki who can see unseen beings in his school. In the novel section, it recommends Kaitu no Kiketsu, a mystery novel about continuous murders on an isolated island, and Razen Kaidan no Alice, a novel which appears to be mystery tales themed around Alice in Wonderland. Dreamcast Magazine's editorial highlights include the popularity of using quote with staff names like Tommy. A survey revealed the most diligent staff members, with Hachishi winning. The Drispo section is ending, transitioning into a news report format. The magazine is seeking reader submissions for Revive Rebirth-themed content. Reader diaries from Okayama, Shenmue gameplay, and Wakayama, everyday activities, were featured. A Music Paradise interview with a musician from Nagano Prefecture, who composes for games, Grandia, Luna, Langrisser, and Tokyo Disneyland. The musician discusses recent recording sessions for Windows game music, emphasizing voice acting, sound quality, and working with a band. They also mention recording for Tokyo Disneyland countdowns and promote their upcoming CD releases. The Unconfirmed Information Bureau reports rumors. Y-Call is allegedly developing a Densha de Go style bra. Suzuki U's VFX is a CD album, not a game, potentially hinting at a reunion with fans. Shenmue Chapter 2, rumors suggest an apology from Yusan via a Moody Man music disc, prompting speculation about the series' conclusion. The Shenmue Final Chapter section includes fan art and predictions. Some fans anticipate a Hong Kong setting with a kitchen fight, while others foresee Fukusan's involvement. This week's CD release introduction highlights several new releases. Up-pointing arrow The High-Lows, down-pointing arrow's Flip-Flop, Maria Takeuchi's live album Souvenir, Kenji Kobayashi's Innocent Cosmos, Yasuhiro Yamanobe's Side by Me, Zelda's Sissy Duck, and Mimizu Kuzu's Mysterious Isn't It? This page humorously lists undesirable scenarios for several games. Canon gets critiqued for elements like snowy Sapporo settings and cheesy catchphrases. My Bra is panned for simplistic concepts like just being a bra. Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, dislikes include Ramirez as a villain and quick reconciliations. The Tsukuru series faces criticism for odd club concepts. Sakura Wars 3 is mocked for low reliability issues. Became. The page also features an exclusive interview with Yu Suzuki about Shenmue, focusing on the anticipation for Chapter 1. Omi Manami's column highlights Christmas-themed UFO catcher prizes, while Dog Buin's diary provides humorous entries from a dog's perspective. The Dorihiro Opinion Box features reader feedback on the Dreamcast. Readers discuss topics like a potential Evangelion game, with screenshots included. Mother's Taste reviews Eldorado Gate, praising its 2D graphics. Memory Card for Image Saving highlights disappointment with memory card limitations, requesting larger capacity. Party Game calls for more multiplayer games. A point-ranking system rewards contributors with prizes. The magazine also includes manga strips and lists various content sections like Game Wish Corner and Unconfirmed Information Bureau. Submission rules are provided, detailing formatting requirements for contributions via postcard. This page features an opinion column by Fumio Kurokawa, titled The Third Man, discussing Sega's business situation. Kurokawa talks about Sega's financial struggles, management changes with Okawa and Sato, and the search for a third man to revitalize the company's software strategy. He mentions restructuring and the challenges Sega faces in the market. Kurokawa's profile details his career, starting at Sega working on the Virtua Fighter series as a publicist, then moving into software and advertising. In a recent situation update, Kurokawa gives his impressions of Capcom's upcoming game, tentatively titled Devil May Cry, expressing excitement about its visuals and gameplay. The page also includes Game Industry This Week's News headlines. One headline mentions T3 and a female Terminator, likely news about the upcoming Terminator 3 movie. Another headline states, Hudson to go public, reporting on Hudson Soft's plans to become a publicly traded company. PlayOnline delayed to autumn or later this year, announces a delay for Square's online platform PlayOnline. PS2 is not profitable? Questions the profitability of the PlayStation 2 console in the market. Lastly, baseball game monopoly should be invalidated, discusses issues with exclusive rights for baseball games. True Getter Robo vs. Neo Getter Robo is a new OVA series from Bandai Visual, with the first episode, Launch Neo Getter Robo, releasing on December 21st for 2,000 yen on both video and DVD. Each episode is 24 minutes long. The series features staff including Go Nagai, Jun Kawagoe, and Takuya Suzuki, along with a voice cast including Hideo Ishikawa. The story sees Ryoma, Hayato, and Musashi fighting the resurrected dinosaur empire. Due to a destroyed Getter reactor, the Neo Getter Robo is built 5 years later. Character profiles are provided for Ryoma, Hayato, and Benkei. Additionally, the topics section notes the anime, Artificial Human Hakaider, is airing on Kids Station and online from December 4th to 11th. Finally, a present section offers a Megazone 23 poster giveaway, with an application deadline of December 15th. December brings a wave of anime and OVA releases. Brave King Gao Gaigar Final 04 OVA concludes the series. DGI Share It. Volume 4 of the DGI Share It 2000 series is already available. Sakura Wars Thunderclap Chapter and Flame Labyrinth OVAs release on December 21st. Love Hina Process 5 includes episodes 13 to 15. Rental options include Digimon Adventure 02 Volume .3 and Mashin Hero Wataru Volume 4. Magical Doramai Hash, that 3 also releases. The movie Six Gates Outer Heaven Monkall Knight Legend of the Fire Dragon is a movie adaptation. Robot Carnival OVA is already available. Finally, the Argento Soma and Fuma no Kojiro TV anime series begin broadcasting on various channels. This page of Sammy Yoshimatsu Theater features a comic strip titled Cheerleaders Angels Less Than 3. The comic humorously portrays the hectic nature of the game industry, especially during the busy period leading up to year-end software releases. Characters in an office setting are depicted rushing and apologizing for being late, highlighting the pressure of deadlines and the overwhelming amount of work, with the repeated phrase, "Boss," emphasizing the demanding work environment. The comic touches upon the typical chaotic scene in software houses and the game industry as they prepare for the year-end rush. This page continues the bi-weekly column and is about gacha machines and a dinner meeting. The author describes getting hooked on gacha machines after going to Kremlin Street for a comic flapper project meeting with Mr. Shinji Wada. They list various gacha prizes they encountered, including those from Armored Trooper VO2MS, Inuyasha, and Vampire Savior. They humorously mention a Sophitia figure from Namco's Soul Calibur, pointing out the detail of different panty colors. The comic then transitions to a section about a dinner meeting at a Chinese restaurant with Mr. Wada that lasted 5 hours. The author portrays the editors getting drunk and expresses a feeling of guilt about being treated to such a meal, despite considering it a lucky treat. The strip concludes with the author's desire to get a Valkyrie gacha prize, likely referring to Valkyrie from The Adventure of Valkyrie, Legend of Tainkey. This page is an interview with the rock band Guru Guru Aigakan, who describe themselves as having a unique style representing 20th century Japanese retro culture. They mention influences from artists like Edogawa Ranpo and Shuji Terayama, drawing inspiration from a range of sources. Their music blends various elements, not strictly adhering to Western rock, and their live shows are theatrical. The page also includes a band profile listing members Yamada Shunsuke, Yoshikawa Masaki, Matsushima Kohei, and Amagano Ryomaru, their formation in Nagoya in 1994, details of their third album, Fan White Book Romanticism is Too Much, and upcoming concert dates. This page is an advertisement for the Dead or Alive 2 Perfect Guide for Dreamcast. This comprehensive guide is aimed at players of all skill levels, from beginners to experts. It boasts complete coverage, including all 14 characters like Bayman and Wanfu, detailed strategies from basic to advanced combos, tactics for tag battles, and complete guides for time attack and survival modes. The book is a 5-size, 264 pages, all color, and priced at 1,800 yen plus tax. This Dreamcast Magazine questionnaire solicits reader feedback via a postcard survey. The instructions emphasize clear, numbered answers. The survey covers various topics, including preferred article types and opinions on past content. It also seeks information on hardware ownership, listing the Dreamcast and its accessories, alongside other consoles and devices. A list of Dreamcast software titles is included, ranging from popular titles like Shenmue and Sonic Adventure to more niche games and sports titles. Readers are also prompted to give their opinions on the current magazine cover. This page highlights Sega Rosso, a new game development company formed from Sega's AM departments. The page starts with a vibrant group photo of the Sega Rosso team, and slogans like Sega Red, Hot, and New Wave, Sega Rosso, emphasizing their fresh start and passion. The feature, New Company President Story, focuses on Kenji Sasaki and the newly formed Sega Rosso. It details the company's origins, tracing back from AM3 Research to AM12 Research, eventually becoming Sega Rosso in 2000 after Sega's development department corporatization. The article explains that the name Rosso, meaning red in Italian, was chosen from about 100 internal proposals, symbolizing passion and linking to Sega's image. They aim to be a driving force for the new Sega era. The page mentions Sega Rosso's business focus is research and development of game software. Games like Rally Championship, Ridge Racer, and Shenmue are noted as past successes of the team members involved, indicating their pedigree in the industry and hinting at future racing game development. Mentioning that their current focus is primarily on Naomi 2 arcade hardware for their future titles. Sasaki-san emphasizes their ambition as creators to challenge themselves with new endeavors, leveraging past experiences to create new dreams. This page continues the feature on Sega Rosso and introduces Sasaki Kenji's work history, emphasizing that their approach is driven by innocent enthusiasm rather than just nostalgia. Kenji Sasaki discusses Sega Rosso's direction, contrasting Sega's traditional cool and blue image with Sega Rosso's aim for a warm and exciting feel, represented by the color red, Rosso. He mentions they want to create games that are engaging and emotionally resonant, moving beyond just coolness to something warmer and more intensely fun for players. The page then looks at Sega Rosso Power Analysis, highlighting their expertise in game genres, stating they excel at game sense categories. Screenshots are shown categorizing their strengths through examples of their games. Rally is exemplified by Sega Rally Championship, showcasing rally-style gameplay. Star Wars uses a shot from Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, demonstrating their ability to handle licensed and action-oriented arcade titles. NASCAR is represented by Daytona USA 2, indicating their proficiency in creating popular racing games within the NASCAR genre. Throughout the page, screenshots from Sega Rally Championship, 1995, Sega Touring Car Championship, 1996, and Sega Rally 2, 1998, are displayed under the title Sasaki Kenji's Work History, likely showcasing games related to Sasaki's career progression and Sega Rosso's lineage. This page continues the interview with Sasaki Kenji, focusing on his early gaming experiences and his path into game development. He mentions being heavily influenced by Space Invaders as a child, stating it was a huge shock to him, and also lists Exevious, Space Harrier, and Space Fighter as impactful games during his childhood. He talks about his childhood dream of making games and how he considered specializing in CG, eventually attending a vocational school to study computer graphics. He mentions the school had good connections with Sony and Fujitsu, allowing him to learn from industry professionals. The page moves on to discuss Sasaki's awakening to CG and his realization that CG graphics were rapidly evolving. He felt the urge to create CG games himself and started teaching programming at his vocational school after graduation, which led to an opportunity to join a game company. The next section highlights Sega Rosso's future lineup of Dreamcast games, listing titles such as Cosmic Smash and Card Captor Sakura. Tomoyo's Video Strategy, which was released on December 28, 2000. Cosmic Smash is described as an arcade game developed on the NAOMI arcade board. The page also features screenshots from Star Wars Trilogy Arcade and Star Wars Racer Arcade, showcasing Sega Rosso's involvement with the Star Wars franchise, and a screenshot from Card Captor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video Strategy. The text emphasizes the innocent enthusiasm driving Sega Rosso's game development. This page continues the interview with Sasaki Kenji, who talks about his time at Namco. He was initially brought in as a designer and became involved with the Ridge Racer project, which started as a tech demo utilizing Namco's advanced texture mapping board, a new concept at the time. Sasaki explains that Sega was behind Namco in CG graphics at that point. He then recounts leaving Namco and joining Sega after meeting Mizuguchi Tetsuya, a key figure at Sega. He joined AM2 Research and was involved in understanding Sega's CG board technology, specifically by speaking to the creator of Daytona USA, who was very helpful, though perhaps unwillingly so. The page highlights the untold story of Ridge Racer, emphasizing its origin as a technology demonstration at Namco, where Sasaki was involved from the beginning. The section titled Great Expectations for Youthful Ideas and Flexibility, discusses Sasaki's current position at Sega Rosso. It expresses strong anticipation for his youthful ideas and adaptable approach in game development. It states that Sega Rosso, under Sasaki's direction, is committed to arcade games, aiming to create experiences that are simply amazing and fun, echoing the impact of titles like Daytona and Ridge Racer. The page concludes with a statement about pioneering Sega Rosso, Sasaki Kenji, emphasizing his role in leading the company forward. Screenshots of both Ridge Racer and Daytona USA are featured on the page, visually representing the games discussed in the interview. This page continues the strategy guide for The Treasure of Genome. It focuses on character compatibility, particularly for smaller side characters who play a crucial role in deck strategy. The guide emphasizes that even small characters can significantly influence the entire opponent's deck and are essential for tactical placement. The page highlights superior character cards of the same size, using examples like the Goblin Warrior being a better choice than the Soldier and the Undine over the Sorcerer. It further explains that character advantages can be reversed depending on the opponent, using the Spider, Salamander, Dwarf, and Sylph as examples. A detailed compatibility chart is provided, outlining the relationships between various characters such as Elf Command, Goblin Warrior, Phantom, Priest Soldier Chico, Kobold, Gremlin, Clown, Blesswisp, Undine, Salamander, Kunoichi, Knight, Goku, Valkyrie, Elf, Wizard, Priestess, Witch, Spellguard, Princess, and Viper. The chart uses symbols to indicate battle outcomes like guaranteed wins, wins with damage, and losses. The guide also gives specific matchup examples like Spider vs. Salamander and Spider vs. Stoker, explaining which character has the advantage. Finally, it teases the next issue, which will feature an explanation of battle vehicles in The Treasure of Genome. This page shares Dreamcast secrets and submission guidelines. In Dream Passport 3, pressing A+X on the URL bar jumps directly to the address. Sonic Adventure unlocks hidden character options through controller commands entered at the title screen, in order: a color/face option, then Melody Chan on port C, and lastly, Dog on port D. Biohazard 2 Value Plus can bypass the zapping system by holding R at the start. The page also solicits Dreamcast Urawaza back techniques for the Dreamcast Magazine Back Technique Plaza. Submit your game tips with your contact information, game title, and technique details for a chance to win prizes like quote cards and magazine merchandise. They prioritize original, unpublished tips. This page is dedicated to Dreamcast news and strategy guides. It announces new games like the action RPG Time and Tide, Angel Present, the rhythm game Samba de Amigo Verde 2000, the action title 100 Swords, and Charge and Blast. Strategy guides are advertised for released games including Resident Evil 3, Last Escape, Mercurius Pretty, End of the Century, Dead or Alive 2, Virtua Tennis, known as Power Smash, Quiz, My Goddess, and Aero Dancing F. The page also prominently features an image of a female character. The next page introduces the adventure game Time and Tide, also known as Time and Tide, Uzushio no Megamitachi in Japan. This game is described as a salvage adventure where players explore a sea bordering on death and uncover what it brings to the wounded heart of the protagonist, Hayami. The page highlights two main gameplay parts: an adventure part where you gather information in towns, and a salvage part where you dive into dangerous deep seas to recover items. In the adventure part, you interact with townspeople, including a journalist, to gather clues and discover salvage points. The salvage part involves operating a small submarine to explore underwater environments, recover items from sunken ships, and manage resources like oxygen. Players will face dangers from sea creatures, and must equip weapons and be careful not to deplete oxygen or damage their submersible. The game is scheduled for release on December 7th, and will be priced at 5,800 yen or 5,800 yen with a 500 yen discount for 300 points. It is a one-player game on one GDROM disc. The developer message mentions it is an original anime-style polygon adventure game with a new sense of polygon demo and salvage. Time and Tide, Uzushio no Megamitachi, features a salvage shop where players sell scrap and buy upgrades for their submarines. The shop's inventory expands throughout the story, offering essential components like weapons, torpedo launchers, needle guns, and oxygen supply systems. Resource management, particularly ammo, is key. The game introduces two key characters, Hayami Tetsu, the protagonist, a skilled, cool-headed salvager with aquaphobia, and Jun Unjin, his partner and son of the East Guild leader, who supports Hayami's underwater operations. Players take on salvage requests at the guild, paying a handling fee up front, which is refunded upon delivery. Upgrades are equipped at the dock, allowing players to customize their submarine with bumpers, engines, batteries, sonar, and special equipment like oxygen tanks. Players should thoroughly inspect equipment at the dock prior to heading out, as changes cannot be made while at sea. This page focuses on gameplay and the Blue No. 6 submarine in Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide. Players can undertake salvage missions by accepting jobs from the guild, using a request form to find items in designated areas. They can also salvage independently. The page also highlights the discovery of underground ironworks via sonar and depth charges. Character File 3 introduces Ranfa, a mechanic on the salvage team. The Blue No. 6 submarine is a key element, a Ryuo-class submarine belonging to the Blue organization. Originally smaller and older, it has been heavily modified to become the most powerful submarine in the Blue Fleet. It has advanced sensory equipment and is captained by the skilled Captain Izuka. The page concludes with the submarine's specifications: size, speed, depth, propulsion, and crew details. In Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide, the Riddle of Beauty quest begins when Hayami Tadayuki is hired by the alluring Yang Chunyu for a salvage mission. She bypasses the guild, offering a large sum to recover 3 goddess statues. The narrative shifts as Hayami is visited by Goldan, a priest, and the story moves forward. The quest culminates in a boss battle against a giant squid after receiving a disc from Yang Chunyu. This unknown creature, possibly 100 meters long, is detailed in the illustrated book as responsible for maritime disasters. Players are advised to prepare for a dangerous fight. Yang Chunyu, described as a mysterious and wealthy woman, is further introduced. She directly commissions Hayami, revealing her pursuit of the Vasuva and Brahman statues, showcasing her significant resources. This page previews Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide for the Dreamcast, emphasizing its visual aspects. The animation is handled by Studio Gonzio, known for the Blue Submarine No. 6 OVA, and animation scenes can be replayed using the game's visual history system. While the adventure parts of the game feature characters rendered in polygons, they are designed to appear as 2D, achieving natural expressions and movements through texture techniques. Character designs are by Murata Renji, who also worked on the OVA. Key characters introduced are Lan Fia, a dog-like creature with a rucksack who appears in game packages; Jen Unshao, a youth with glasses who is portrayed as intelligent; Yang Chunyu, who wears sunglasses and is depicted as wealthy and dangerous; and Admiral Beihale, an X-marked character whose appearance in the game is not confirmed but his design exists. This page delves into the finer details of Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide for the Dreamcast, focusing on the staff's dedication to creating original mecha for the game. Specifically, it highlights 3 new mecha designs exclusive to the Dreamcast title. The Grand Bass Cell, described as a smaller version of the Grand Bass from the OVA; the Solaris, a Singaporean Navy small submersible aircraft resembling the Grand Bass but without manipulators; and the Grand Nova, an experimental and dangerous Singaporean Navy submersible designated with a blue number. The page explains that the game's narrative serves as a prequel to the Blue Submarine No. 6 OVA, revealing the events of the Fast Tide's past. Players familiar with the OVA will recognize returning characters and appreciate how the game deepens the overall storyline. The page also promotes the Blue Submarine No. 6 DTS Edition, Volume 1 Blues DVD, part of a 4-volume series offering enhanced sound and digital illustration packaging, alongside the standard video, LD, and DVD video releases. Finally, it reiterates the key characters from the game: Lan Fa, Jen Unshao, Yang Chunyu, and Admiral Beihale, all crucial figures in the unfolding narrative of Blue Submarine No. 6. This page is showcasing Angel Present, an adventure game for Dreamcast, where you play as a young, aspiring picture book author. The game focuses on the protagonist, Sekikawa Yui, who returns to his hometown after leaving the hustle of the city to refine his artistic sensibilities. He encounters 5 heroines, including his atelier junior, Kazuki Erina, and interacts with various people in the town, forests, and mountains. However, some people have given up on their dreams and are afraid of reality. The story involves a layer world, representing the protagonist's mental world, leading him into a grand adventure. The game promises a fantastical adventure love story set in a dreamlike imaginary world within a girl's heart, guided by angel wings. The page highlights new event images and screenshots, mentioning a 2-year homecoming and reunion with nostalgic faces. It notes the game is 70% complete and scheduled for release in March 2001 by NEC Interchannel. The price is listed as 6,800 yen, 360 points. Angel Present is an adventure game with a unique gameplay flow divided into 3 stages. The first stage involves building relationships with heroines in the real world by conversing and unlocking new locations. Unexpectedly, conversations trigger transitions to the layer world, a picture book-like realm. In the layer world, players solve problems and delve into the heroine's emotional struggles. Clearing events in the layer world affects the real world, altering conversations and allowing players to progress multiple storylines. The game focuses on key to the heart of girls gameplay, blending real-world conversations with layer-world RPG elements. Special abilities and strategic gameplay are crucial in the layer world. The game introduces Kazuki Erina, a junior character, an energetic artist who is excited to visit the protagonist's home but becomes reserved when discussing her personal story. Voice actress Yamamoto Maria describes Erina as charming, kind, and approachable, emphasizing the heartwarming nature of her journey. This page focuses on the adventure game Angel Present and introduces 2 heroines, Yuzuki Mayuzumi and Sayaka Shirasato, alongside interviews with their voice actresses. Yuzuki Mayuzumi is described as a pure-hearted bug enthusiast. Her voice actress, Yoshida Yuri, mentions that Yuzuki is a character who loves bugs from a young age and is somewhat clumsy and ditzy, asking viewers to love this aspect of her. Yoshida mentions she is similar to Yuzuki and feels a close connection to her. Sayaka Shirasato is introduced as the star of the swimming club who has closed her heart. Her voice actress, Nagashima Yuko, initially envisioned Sayaka as a dark character, but realized she hides vulnerable parts beneath a strong exterior. Nagashima explains that to portray Sayaka's strength and hidden weakness, she intentionally performed her lines in a normal way. She highlights the character's charm, especially in later scenes, and wants to convey Sayaka's hidden vulnerability that contrasts with her strong facade, hoping to show her as more than just a prideful character, and to convey her struggles and never give up attitude. Screenshots on the page show scenes featuring both Yuzuki and Sayaka, including Yuzuki in bug-related scenarios, and Sayaka in what appears to be a school swimming pool setting. One image depicts Sayaka pouring water on a male character at the pool. Another image shows Sayaka with a male character by the sea. This page continues the coverage of Angel Present, introducing 2 more heroines, Ayame Asagiri and Yuko Kijima, along with interviews with their voice actresses. Ayame Asagiri is described as a girl with big dreams who aspires to be a hair designer but is currently focused on her studies. Her voice actress, Nakagawa Ayako, mentions Ayame appears mature and composed, but in reality, she is quite emotional. Nakagawa describes her voice acting approach as aiming for a soft and gentle tone that hints at Ayame's inner turmoil, hoping to make her seem approachable. She emphasizes that Ayame is not a typical, large-hearted Yamato Nadeshiko type, but a relatable girl striving towards her dreams. Yuko Kijima is introduced as a piano teacher who is admired by everyone in town, including the protagonist. Her voice actress, Kanetsuki Makami, describes Yuko as someone you want to protect. Kanetsuki notes, Yuko's appeal lies in her pure and honest way of living, making her a positive influence on the protagonist. She mentions that Yuko is mature and composed, and her desire is to portray Yuko as someone who can make viewers want to support her. The page includes screenshots of Ayame and Yuko in various scenes, including Ayame interacting with the protagonist, and Yuko playing the piano and seemingly interacting with children. One image shows Ayame in a library setting, and another depicts Yuko holding hands with the protagonist. The next page showcases Samba de Amigo Ver 2000, announcing its near release within 2 weeks of this magazine. The text celebrates the arrival of a sample ROM, highlighting new modes and confirming it is not just a simple update, but a significant upgrade, boasting 100% completion. Developed by Sega Sonic Team, this rhythm action game is set to be released on December 14th. The developer notes describe this version as a mini-game heaven, emphasizing the unique maraca-based gameplay, differentiating it from previous controller-based iterations, and highlighting maraca skill as crucial. New song information is revealed, with over 40 tracks included in total, featuring many well-known songs requested by users. A selection of the new tracks is listed as Bamboleo, Game People Play, Mambo de Verano, Sway, Take On Me, El Ritmo Tropical, Love Lease, and Macarena. Screenshots display in-game action and a music selection screen featuring songs like Vamos a Carnaval, Hot Hot Hot, and Tout Tout pour ma chérie. This page is bursting with information about Samba de Amigo Vernune 2000 and its exciting new modes. It shouts, "New mode!" Introducing the survival mode, promising intense survival dancing across all 43 included songs. It also mentions the challenge mode. Below, the page details a brand new minigame mode, which leverages the maraca controllers for unique spatial recognition gameplay, described as a volleyball-like experience. You use your hands on screen to control the maracas and hit balls back to the opponent. There are 2 minigame examples shown: Move the Maracas and Shake the Maracas. It seems there's a one-player mode to progress through 5 stages, and a versus mode for competitive play. The Check section highlights an early playtest, with the editor sounding very pleased and suggesting players should definitely check it out, reinforcing the over 40 songs claim. The Those Songs, These Songs, New Songs area talks about the song selection, specifically mentioning the inclusion of Livin' La Vida Loca, and the editor's delight with the music. The editors responsible for this preview are named as UME and TETSU. This page dives into the game systems of 100 Swords, a real-time strategy game for Dreamcast. The main highlight of the game is controlling up to 100 characters simultaneously in real time. The page introduces the core gameplay loop, starting with resource discovery. You locate resources on the field and command leaders to build resource gathering points. There are 2 types of visible resources in the field. Next is base construction. Once resources are being gathered, you can use them to build bases. These bases become your central hubs for deploying troops and defense. The game features battles and national power accumulation. When you encounter enemies, combat automatically initiates based on formations. When troops are depleted, you can return to your base to reinforce them and build up your national power. Finally, the objective is enemy base destruction. Once you've amassed enough power, target enemy bases, find their weak points, and launch attacks. Destroying enemy bases leads to stage completion and rewards you with resources. The screenshots visually demonstrate these steps, showing resource gathering, base building, combat scenarios, and the final assault on an enemy base. The page also mentions that while the small characters fighting in 3D fields might seem chaotic, the core of 100 Swords is its network battles. It encourages players to be proactive, strong, curious, and dive into the fun of online play. The game is listed as an SLG strategy game, with a release date of January 25th, and supports 1 to 4 players. This page details the command system and operations in 100 Swords. The game utilizes a simple icon-based command system for quick decision-making in real time. The command icons contextually change based on where the cursor is positioned, like changing to a resource gathering icon when hovering over a resource point, or a combat icon when targeting an enemy. Players issue commands by selecting leaders, who then direct their troops. While individual unit commands are possible, the game emphasizes controlling squads led by leaders for efficient real-time management of up to 100 units. The page further explains core gameplay actions. Resource discovery involves identifying resources on the field and sending leaders to establish resource gathering points. Movement is initiated by selecting a leader and positioning the cursor. Units will then automatically follow, navigating obstacles and engaging in combat if attacked. Combat itself is triggered by positioning the cursor over an enemy, which brings up a combat command icon and initiates battles which are auto-resolved. Unit switching is explained using 2 methods: direct selection and Y-button switching to cycle through different squads for broader command. Finally, the minimap is highlighted as a crucial tool for overall situational awareness, allowing players to quickly jump to different locations on the map by moving the cursor within the minimap area. This page is focused on the game Charge N Blast, a 3D action shooting title for the Dreamcast. It highlights the game's core gameplay mechanic, which is the charge shot, emphasizing strategic combat where you charge up powerful attacks while moving to evade enemies and projectiles. The page details the shooting style as being impacted by whether you prefer rapid-fire or charge shots, and Charge N Blast falls firmly into the latter category, rewarding players who charge effectively. It introduces the 3 playable characters from the Special Alien Task Force Last members: John Dawn, the standard character equipped with multiple rockets; Nicholas Woods, described as Super First Strike and using grenades; and Pamela Hewitt, the lock-on command type, wielding multiple lasers. Each character has unique special weapons beyond the common arsenal, with John's rockets capable of locking onto up to 3 targets, effective in both land and sea missions. Nicholas's grenades are described as powerful, able to destroy buildings and enemies alike, though with short range and slower firing rate. Pamela's multiple lasers are optical weaponry effective underwater and against obstacles, with a high lock-on count, making her versatile against various enemy types, including smaller foes and bosses. Screenshots demonstrate the 3D shooting action and different gameplay scenarios. This guide covers shooting points and enemies in Charge N Blast's 5 missions. The City of Nest features insect enemies like jumping fleas, and the Queen of Bugs boss, Head Barrier. Party on the Beach has aquatic foes, Easy Zell, Difficult Gill, and the Adult Worm boss, Abdomen Barrier. Under Pressure is underwater with flying winged insects and the Octopus boss, Lower Back Barrier, vulnerable to torpedoes. Desire Town in the Desert showcases flying gargoyles and the larval worm boss, Head Barrier. The final mission, Last Annihilation, pits players against T-80 machine soldiers, challenging jam lifeforms, and a final boss in a canyon setting. T-My-Goat. This section covers strategies for Resident Evil 3. Nemesis, focusing on new enemy types and character-specific combat. 2 Hunter variants are detailed. Hunter Beta, a fast and dangerous enemy capable of instant death with its neck-hanging attack, particularly deadly when Jill is low on health. Hunter Gamma, with a round swallow attack, can be dodged more easily due to a visible lunge. The guide also analyzes Carlos's combat. While sharing basic skills with Jill, his knife attack is less effective. It's recommended to conserve his assault rifle ammo for challenging encounters, using the handgun for zombies. Furthermore, items are not shared between Jill and Carlos due to their separate item boxes. This page is a strategy guide for the Carlos chapter in Resident Evil 3. Nemesis, specifically covering the Park Gravedigger battle. It outlines the gameplay flow, starting in the courtyard, where Jill collapses and Carlos takes over. The guide directs players through locations like the chapel for the character change, the storage to ring the bell, and the doctor's office to acquire the tape recorder for elevator access. It highlights branching paths at the hospital elevator to the 4th and B3rd floors, affecting events with Monitor Tyrell or Nikolai. A 1-point section notes how investigation messages change depending on the character. Choosing to go to the laboratory first leads to a Tyrell event, altering file order, and triggering a Hunter Beta encounter. Alternatively, going to the archives first initiates a Nikolai event, thought to be dead, which is recommended for file acquisition order and battle difficulty. The page also includes an items and location map, showing the clock tower and hospital area, indicating key item and location details including blue herbs, rescue sprays, ink ribbons, handgun bullets, red herbs, vaccines, green herbs, memos, photos, keys, and the table recorder. The next page continues the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis Strategy Guide, this time focusing on navigating the hospital as Carlos. It details key objectives in different locations, starting with room 401, where you need to investigate a memo left by a dead body. In room 402, you'll obtain vaccine materials by moving shelves, while the 4th floor corridor leads to room 402 after using a key. The guide points to the laboratory where you can acquire a culture fluid base and then use the synthesis device to create vaccine culture fluid, triggering an encounter with Hunter Gamma. The page also describes puzzle mechanics, like operating the synthesis device using levers and gauges, with a table illustrating the correct lever inputs for synthesis. It warns of a timed bomb event in the hospital hall, leading to game over if you fail to escape in time, after obtaining both culture fluid base and vaccine material, and reaching the hospital hall. It highlights an encounter with the pursuer, Nemesis, in the hospital hall after returning from the clock tower, advising players to use the assault rifle effectively and maintain distance to defeat him. The item and location map expands on the previous page, covering areas like the hospital, disused plant, and park, showing item locations such as grenades, herbs, and keys. Finally, there's a list of acquired files detailing documents like the doctor's diary found in the hospital doctor's office and Photo D found in the hospital archive room. This guide details a Resident Evil 3 Nemesis walkthrough after the hospital. It involves navigating locations like the Hall of Dancing, Nemesis Chase, Park Street, Patrol Room Key, and Forest Path. Key items include various park keys used to access areas like the main square, cemetery, and operations room. The water wheel puzzle in Fountain Plaza grants access to an underground waterway. In the cemetery hut, combine items to find a hidden entrance. Prior to the operations room, store excess items. Combat tips include using streetlights in Park Street against enemies like the Gravedigger, and obtaining infinite ammo by collecting certain items and fighting Nemesis at the Clock Tower. The Gravedigger boss fight requires strategic streetlight use and puddle creation for an instant defeat, while avoiding its ground and underground bite attacks. This guide provides gameplay advice for the simulation RPG Marucus Pretin, End of the Century. Key mechanics revolve around managing a homunculus's emotions and attributes. Conversations are influenced by the homunculus's emotional state. Positive emotions yield better responses, while negative ones require careful answer selection and mood-boosting activities like exercise. Command success varies. Conversation relies on emotion and content, reading on knowledge and intelligence, exercise on stamina and personality, spiritual summoning on logic, sense, emotion, and stress, and quests on stamina and stress. Free-time actions are always successful. Minigames appear during learning commands, with guaranteed minigames during free time. Successfully completing these minigames reduces stress, increases affection, and boosts knowledge. Reading increases intelligence, with different book types offering varying skill boosts dependent on the homunculus's personality and training duration. The guide includes tables detailing book types and their point distribution across skill categories for different personality types and time periods. Marucus Pretin, End of the Century, features complex gameplay mechanics. Characters can catch colds by overexertion, triggered by stress exceeding stamina. Colds require immediate medicine. Homunculus mutations occur at set days, 8, 20, 34, or early if attribute points reach certain thresholds. Mutation types: wild, fancy, intelligence. Impact stat growth, affecting stamina and knowledge gain. Wild mutations favor stamina. Fancy is balanced, and intelligence favors knowledge. Actions consume stamina and increase stress, with different commands affecting stats. Exercise and spiritual summoning boost stats, while grist and crystal drain stamina. Resting recovers stamina and reduces stress. Command execution time is determined by stats, especially knowledge or stamina level, and intelligence facilitates faster growth, particularly for intelligence types. This guide for Marucus Pretin focuses on homunculus gem creation and interactions. Gem creation uses Kunst, with fire attribute influencing garnet, topaz, and ruby. Gem level depends on homunculus knowledge and health, with a table detailing gem types: fire, water, wind, earth, and required knowledge levels. Refusing homunculus requests increases stress and lowers favorability, impacting command efficiency. Attributes influence event outcomes, especially with Vacha Crystal and spiritual summoning. Aim for a total attribute value of 1900 plus, excluding fire. A homunculus's attributes are fixed. Spiritual summoning boosts stats: earth, water, fire, wind, stamina, knowledge, based on the summoned spirit and its level. Personality parameters are also influenced by the summoned spirit, with different personality types associated with each element. Spirit levels are determined by attribute values. The Marucus Pretin gameplay guide explains how to achieve the true ending, which requires more than just training. Players must explore the world to prevent its destruction. Access to the Alchemist Cafe is crucial for purchasing items needed for training, stress management, and stamina recovery. Progression involves triggering specific Vacha Crystal events. 7 key events are outlined, triggered by accepting cafe invitations, achieving high attribute values, and completing specific region events like the Prometheus Liberation. Interactions with characters like Melchior, Oberon King, Frida, and Ryuji are vital. Meeting the difficult-to-encounter character, Magda, requires careful daughter raising and visiting the Alchemist Cafe. A table details spiritual summoning laws, showing how actions and attribute combinations influence element summoning. This guide for Dead or Alive 2's survival mode focuses on 2 characters, Bayman and Kasumi, disguised as Subu. Bayman is a power fighter who utilizes throws for damage. Key moves include the windmill backbreaker, knee lift, bulk upper, smash upper, and frame stinger to set up throws and combos. Kasumi, Subou, relies on Wolf Fang Slash for spacing, and Boar and Weasel Trap as a counter. While lacking complex combos, she can use Oni-Te, Water Splash, and RKRP for offense. Survival Mode Strategy prioritizes combo count early. Finisher X. Finish opponents with weaker attacks near walls to allow for follow-up attacks. Critical hits are beneficial when health is low. Avoid relying solely on holds, as some characters can exploit this. Mid-kicks can reduce risk in tight situations. This guide provides tactics for Dead or Alive 2 matches against Zack, Helena, Bass, and Leon. Against Zack, known for versatility, use moves like Airwalk and Raging Knee. Counter him by holding mid-level attacks and avoiding predictable movements. For Helena, an offensive character, utilize Shield Upper and Flicking Tail Kick. Counter her by anticipating combos and throws, using low throws when she steps back, and holding mid-level attacks. Bass, known for difficult combos, requires anticipating his strikes. Use moves like Flying Cross Chop and Round Muscle Elbow. Hold mid-level attacks and low kicks after the second or third hit of his combos. Finally, for Leon, who is tricky when cornered, use Down Throw and Crab Scissors. Initiate offense with right plus kick, followed by Tracer Kick. Counter Leon by being wary of strong combos, holding when he steps back, and using high counter holds. This page is dedicated to Dead or Alive 2 Revolve, showcasing community content and gameplay tips. There are player-submitted combo techniques, demonstrated with screenshots, and a detailed combo explanation from a player called Karakuri Gyoza-san. Fan-submitted illustrations are featured, with a thank you to the artists. The page also reveals the interim results of a character popularity poll, with Kasumi leading, followed by Lei Fang and other characters like Bayman and Ayan. A featured postcard submission is highlighted as this week's #1, and readers are encouraged to send in their illustrations, character votes, and combo strategies. Submission categories include illustrations, character popularity votes, combo moves, and time attack/survival score contest entries. This page is an advertisement for strategy guides published by SoftBank. There are guides for 2 games and a Dreamcast Internet guide. The first game is Skies of Arcadia, advertised as the Eternal Arcadia Perfect Guide, detailing the game's systems, combat, maps, items, enemies, and behind-the-scenes content. The second game featured is Motto Pro Yaku Team Otsukuru, a baseball management simulation game, with its guide focusing on team management, player development, and providing extensive player and staff data for over 3,300 individuals, promising to solve any player concerns. Finally, there is an ad for a Dreamcast Internet guide, highlighting the Dreamcast's internet capabilities and ease of use, stating you don't need a PC anymore and can connect in just 10 minutes. This page dives into Sega's Power Smash, known internationally as Virtua Tennis. It highlights the game's shop feature, where you can purchase all players and stages. The shop's inventory varies depending on the initially chosen character's region, North, South, Cape, or Asia, with Pacific becoming available later. The player section showcases unlockable characters available in the shop, noting these are new characters not present in the arcade version. Characters featured include Peter Tinbergen from the Netherlands, Rolf Euler from Switzerland, Davor Tesla from Croatia, Gilles Altman from Canada, Shyam Singh from India, Bruno Costa from Brazil, Ralph Ventura from Italy, and Masayuki Inoue from Japan. Each character description details their playing style and strengths. The page then moves on to Training Mode, Minigames. It details 3 minigames: Drum Shooter, focusing on lob shots; Giant Ball, where you hit giant ball strategically; and Bullseye, which emphasizes precision shots aiming for the center of targets. Developer advice is provided for each minigame, offering tips and strategies. For example, in Drum Shooter, it's mentioned to practice precise lob shots, essential for matches. In Giant Ball, hitting the front balls to move the back balls is key. For Bullseye, it's recommended to use normal shots over lobs for better accuracy and to aim for the center of the target. This guide covers gameplay mechanics and minigames in Power Smash, Virtua Tennis. Players can purchase 5 stages in the shop for Exhibition Mode. A slice serve, executed with the B button, is effective for causing errors. Lob shots counter net rushers, though they are risky. In World Circuit Mode, use recovery items from the shop to combat player fatigue. Minigames include Smashbox, Practice Smashes, Return Ace, return serves to hit boxes for chain reactions, And Cannonball. Hit yellow balls, avoid red. Smash Box requires accurate smashes from the front. Return Ace rewards efficient box clearing. Cannonball demands precise timing. The guide also encourages players to visit the official website, http://www.hitmaker.co.jp, for updates. This page covers quiz game basics and strategies, specifically for Quiz, Oh My Goddess, Fighting Wings. It mentions 2 key quiz game tactics: the elimination method, for questions where you are unsure of the answer, and memory, for remembering questions you've seen before. For Quiz, Oh My Goddess, it explains how to increase your relationship level with the goddesses. To improve your standing, you need to consistently select a goddess as your partner, around 5 to 7 times in a row. However, even if your trust level is high, it can decrease if you don't interact with them regularly. The page highlights that you can only have a high trust level with up to 3 goddesses at a time. It also points out that in the final stages of the game, having a high trust level with goddesses can give you an advantage by reducing the quota you need to achieve. A special note is given to be cautious of beautiful women in the game, implying they might be important in some way. The page includes screenshots of in-game scenarios with goddesses Urd and Lind, showing how their dialogue changes with increased trust. The next page delves into item usage in Quiz, Oh My Goddess, Fighting Wings, and how to best leverage them. It explains that each goddess has a tendency to provide specific items. For example, Piorth and Beldandy are more likely to give you the 2-choice item, which narrows down answers, while Urd favors the 3-choice item, though it's less potent. Skuld provides no miss, canceling out incorrect answers once. Belt once. Lind offers time slow to halve the question time. Mara gives attack x2, doubling your attack power, and Hild grants score x2 to boost your score. Genre select is available from all goddesses. The page clarifies that items activate automatically when you lose a life, which removes the need for manual activation, a design choice considered both good and bad. Furthermore, item effects are continuous as long as you keep answering correctly, even between rounds. In 2-player mode, item effects can even stack for greater impact. For boss battles, it's recommended to use powerful items like 2-choice or attack x2 to gain an edge. Activating these items just before a boss fight is a smart tactic. Finally, when you trigger the genre select item, the game presents 4 genre options tailored to the chosen goddess's personality. Building a strong relationship with a goddess refines these genre choices further, offering more specific categories within broader subjects, thereby increasing your chances of success in your favored quiz areas. This guide focuses on mastering online battles in Aerodancing F. It emphasizes understanding the heads-up display, HUD, to improve aerial combat skills. Key HUD elements include the pitch scale for aircraft attitude and the radar for tracking enemies. Effective speed and altitude management, specifically maintaining speed above 400 knots and altitude around 6,000 feet, are also crucial for maneuverability. Common pitfalls include losing energy through reckless maneuvers and being too slow or low. An interview with Izumi Makoto from CRI highlights the challenges of creating a smooth online experience. The unpredictable nature of online battles is a major appeal. Success hinges on knowing your aircraft, anticipating enemy movements, and learning through experience. Players are encouraged to engage in online battles. This guide outlines essential aerial combat maneuvers for Aerodancing F. Basic maneuvers like low and high yo-yos are detailed for engaging turning enemies, with the low yo-yo used when your turning circles are similar, and the high yo-yo for intercepting across your path. Advanced techniques include the barrel roll for tail evasion, scissors for a speed-based maneuver to get behind the opponent, and the defensive spiral for evading attacks. Success relies not only on knowing the moves, but also on adapting to the opponent's tactics. An interview with CRI's Asanori Haba highlights the appeal of network battles, emphasizing the excitement and unpredictable nature of playing against human opponents. Future installments, like Aerodancing ID, promise enhanced network features, including 4-player battles. This page of Weekly Gabaritsuki Eldorado Gate focuses on Eldorado Gate number 5, featuring staff commentary from the producer about the game's world, specifically the Land of Fate. This location is described as an important hub or agit for players, a meeting place for 12 demon gods, and a mysterious area different from towns. It serves as a base where players can prepare for their journey, offering features like item storage and warp events. These warp events offer unique dialogue and events that are only available in the Land of Fate. The page also introduces Eldorado Gate characters number 4, highlighting the Gaburi tribe. These creatures, who are also called Gaburi race, are described as highly intelligent, possessing a scientific and scholarly side, despite their somewhat fierce appearance. They are said to be prevalent in the Escalade region. There's a Q&A section titled, Gaburi Exploration Team? A player asks about defeating a heat tank in Chapter 2. The answer from the Gaburi Exploration Team explains that in the second chapter, by playing through it twice and defeating the ice tank monster in the Madeline Underground Path, it becomes easier to defeat the heat tank. The advice mentions utilizing ice stones to weaken the heat tank, as it is stronger than the Lemoon in the first chapter and requires proper preparation and possibly stronger weapons. The Red Gaburi in the Q&A suggests players try different strategies. This page is dedicated to the Dream Magazine Hot Spring Association for the game Guru Guru Onsen, Spinning Hot Springs. It announces the third Sega Cup tournament for this game, which is a mahjong tournament scheduled from December 7th to 10th. Prizes are offered, with 30,000 yen for first place, going down to 5,000 yen for third, and a special 15,000 yen prize for achieving Tenho, a rare mahjong hand. The page also briefly touches on the Eternal Arcadia Cup and asks if players enjoyed it, referencing the game's developer Overworks and producer. A large portion of the page is a list of registered members of the Dream Magazine Hot Spring Association, categorized by preferences like mahjong lovers. Finally, it provides instructions on how to join the Dream Magazine Hot Spring Association, requiring hopeful applicants to send a postcard with their details to the specified address. This page is an official fan page for Eternal Arcadia, known internationally as Skies of Arcadia. It focuses on low-altitude sky discoveries, providing a guide to finding 7 hidden locations in the game. Each discovery is listed with a number, a name like Floating Thunderball, Upside Down Rabbit, and Ancient Fish, along with a description and map location within the game world. Additionally, the page features a Navigator's True Face section, profiling the main character, Vise. It details his height, weight, age, 17, birthday, July 7th, hobbies like map collecting, special skills like jumping, favorite things like sailing, and dislikes like the clergy. It also mentions his personality, stating he loves adventure and seeing the world through his own eyes. It names his ship as starting as the Albatross and becoming the Delphinus. This page showcases fan-focused content for Eternal Arcadia, known internationally as Skies of Arcadia. The Navigator's Portrait section highlights popular characters as chosen by fans. First is Aika from Saitama Prefecture, praised for her tomboyish charm and cute expressions. Next is Karamal from Saitama Prefecture, the Maramba weapon shop owner, described as having a hidden beauty. Finally, Hamachao from Kanagawa Prefecture is featured, noted for his unexpectedly funny voice and rude personality, despite being a hermit. The page also features a Go Sky Bandit section, inviting readers to create short stories based on an illustration and focusing on the character Simon. It suggests readers explore Simon's true personality and imagine stories inspired by Aika's ideas. An Eternal 4 Coma Theater comic strip is included. It depicts a humorous exchange between Aika and Vidis before a battle, revolving around Vidis wanting encouragement. The Sky Submissions section details categories for fan contributions, including character popularity votes, fan experiences with game details titled Coco is Overworks, illustrations for the Navigator's Portrait, questions for the developers under Sky Treasure Sky Bandit, and submissions for Go Sky Bandit. The page also mentions a November-December treasure section for Sky Bandit side submissions, offering signed color prints as prizes for selected entries. Lastly, the Armada side gives the address for sending in fan submissions to Dreamcast Magazine. This page is a fan page for Rune Jade, encouraging both veteran and new players to get involved. There's a Mania also, Beginners ROK section, highlighting player opinions and experiences. The Ata Yadarada Here Comes AKA corner presents funny player submissions, like comments about Nausicaa being like worms, or wanting to be like a boss character. The Adventurer's Tavern section discusses how some players started with the paid service in November, and some are beginners. It mentions the server has become lighter and encourages players to find new encounters in the game. The Free Talk Corner seems to answer player questions, such as about a spinner character saying, "I'm going," and the question about the character Katum, with a mention of hunting and shooting master. There's also a question about Elga King and heroes who fought demons, suggesting lore discussion. The next "If You're Going to Be This Job" section discusses character classes. It notes that initially, Knight was the most popular, followed by Mage, Ninja, and Warrior. Players are now considering Ninja, Mage, and Priest as next classes, with opinions on each class's playstyle. One player likes Ninja for solo play, another prefers Mage for attacking power, and a third is considering Priest for support. Finally, the application rules section gives instructions for submitting fan content including pen name, real name, age, address, and phone number for postcard submissions to the magazine, and details for email submissions, mentioning prizes for submitted content. This page details new content for the online RPG Rune Jade, a limited-time mission, going and coming years, December 31, 2000 to January 2, 2001, introduces the monster Shishimai and offers RJ items, obtainable in the RJ Maniac mission. RJ items include equipment like caps, jumpers, and gloves, providing stat boosts. The page also announces 4 new clan missions. Ninja Road is a Japanese-themed dungeon for ninja training. Apostle of Ouroboros is a magical space with flying monsters. Maniac caters to item collectors with tough enemies. Japan Jade Company is a merchant-themed mission. Character names. Character names associated with each mission are provided, showcasing a variety of themes for each clan. The page is supplemented with screenshots depicting gameplay and battles within the game environments. This page celebrates the first anniversary of Space Channel 5, highlighting its release on December 16, 1999 in Japan. It was priced at 5,800 yen and required 5 VM blocks, supporting VGA and Rumble features. The page includes an interview segment titled Love 2 Diary with Okamura Rameko, the assistant producer for Space Channel 5 at Sega, who discusses the Dreamcast Collection re-release of the game on December 21st, and a special sticker included in the European version. She mentions that the game itself is the same, but encourages fans to keep an eye on future developments for Channel 5 and her own activities. Another section, New Moro Alien Search, showcases fan submissions, with several humorous examples and anecdotes related to Moro aliens and gameplay experiences. The Final Round staff comment section includes short messages from UGA staff like Moro Yumiko, Okazaki Ken, Okaken, Yoshioka Kenji, and Nakanishi, expressing gratitude for fan support and hinting at future plans. Finally, a title character ranking section reveals the top 3 characters players want as bosses, ranking Spaceship Captain at number 1, Space Task Teacher at number 2, and Jaguar at number 3, noting the cool and dandy Spaceship Captain's popularity. .com U12 Illustration Special showcased fan art by artists under 12. Featured artworks included characters with headphones, pigtails resembling pudding, and characters inspired by pudding. Other submissions depicted figures in landscapes, characters in orange clothing, realistic Ibera characters, star-themed characters, characters in pink dresses, and characters with microphones. Original art included a CD corner, a spaceship with a galaxy, and a monster-like character. The special culminates in the Space Designer's Choice and Momo Yumimi's Choice selections. A promotional campaign from December 1st to December 15th offered applicants prizes, including Barafrag or MILCDs, through an online application form and provided a mailing address for aspiring Channel 5 reporters. The Imperial Capital Journal, Revised. Volume 15, a fan contribution special, celebrates Imperial Capital and Paris Review, with illustrations and comments. Edited by Gasquet, the page features submissions with cherry blossom decorations. Highlights include Mr. Kozuzu's snowy-themed work, Hitomi Yumiko's gorgeous review mama, and Shimoyama Sanamiko's nostalgic street art. Other entries feature Sakura in a white dress, Iris in a dog costume, and Kana in military uniform. Additional submissions show Iris, another Kana, a character in a yellow outfit, and one in a pink floral outfit. Further submissions depict an older male character and a manga-style character. The page showcases diverse fan art dedicated to the Sakura Wars series, demonstrating the fans' enthusiasm. This page continues with fan contributions and features more artwork and comments related to Sakura Wars. We see artwork highlighting characters from different prefectures. For example, there's art from Kumamoto Prefecture featuring Erika, from Fukui Prefecture featuring Kohime, Miyazaki Prefecture with Natsu Sugisawa, and Shizuoka Prefecture showcasing Muton, Urara, and Dani. There's also artwork from Hokkaido, Hiroshima, Tochigi, Gifu, and Kanagawa prefectures. There's a section titled, Let's Go Multi-Characters, which shows fan-made characters. Another section, Welcome to the Imperial Theater, features more fan art, focusing on character interactions. The page includes a ranking chart titled Popularity Ranking for Assault Troops, showing character popularity based on votes, with Tsunemaya, Lanai, Sakura, Maria, Iris, Koran, Kana, Erika, Ogami, Hanabi, Orihime, Glycine, Kokelikot, Riberia, and Kayama in the rankings. Finally, there's a Dandy Seal candy set, mentioned as a prize for those who attended the stage show and contributed to the magazine, encouraging reader participation for the Imperial Capital Journal, and appointing someone as the leader of the Dandy support group. The page also has a call for reader submissions of 4-panel manga and single-panel manga related to the Imperial Theater, and asks for interesting manga ideas. 2 movies are highlighted in this guide. Godzilla vs. Megaguirus G Eradication Operation, the 24th Godzilla film, releases December 16th, featuring a renewed Millennium Godzilla design and special effects by Kenji Suzuki. The story involves Godzilla's energy-seeking attack on Japan and the resulting G eradication strategy. A new monster, Megaguirus, challenges Godzilla in Tokyo. Directed by Masaaki Tezuka, it stars Misato Tanaka, Shiro Sano, and Yoriko Hoshi. Disney's Dinosaur, releasing December 2nd, showcases advanced CG animation, utilizing extensive processing and storage. Set in a dinosaur world, the story follows Aladar, an iguanodon, separated from his herd and raised by lemurs. Directed by Ralph Zondag and Eric Layton, with a story by Waylon Green, the film highlights the impact of carnivorous dinosaurs on the herds. This page reviews several films. The Sixth Day, a sci-fi action film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, explores cloning, What Lies Beneath. A suspense thriller with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer, centers on a woman uncovering secrets. Cyberworld, an IMAX 3D film, is a visual collection featuring characters from The Simpsons and Ants. Me, Myself, and Irene, a Farrelly Brothers comedy starring Jim Carrey, portrays a police officer with a dual personality. Frequency, a human drama, uses time travel through the Aurora Borealis to explore a father-son relationship. Finally, The Watcher, a psycho-suspense thriller starring Keanu Reeves, depicts a cat-and-mouse game between a serial killer and an FBI agent. The next page showcases a selection of films. Brother, directed by Takeshi Kitano, is a world entertainment film starring Beat Takeshi, Omar Epps, and Masaya Katos. The story is about a Yakuza member who flees to Los Angeles to find his younger brother and gets involved in gang conflicts. Battle Royale is a shocking film adaptation of a novel, directed by Kinji Fukasaku, starring Tatsuya Fujiwara, Aki Maeda, and Taro Yamamoto. The story revolves around junior high school students forced to participate in a deadly game. Party 7 is described as comical entertainment, directed by Katsuhito Ishii, featuring Masatoshi Nagase, Akemi Kobayashi, and Tadanobu Asano. It is about quirky characters and situations happening in a hotel. Toy Story 2 is highlighted as a full CG animation from Disney, featuring Tom Hanks and Tim Allen as voice actors. It continues the story of Woody and Buzz Lightyear. Jin-Ro, The Wolf Brigade, is an anime film directed by Hiroyuki Okiura, with character design by Kenji Kamiyama and Hajime Sato. It is set in a dystopian Tokyo and follows a story of conflict and destiny. Finally, Any Given Sunday, directed by Oliver Stone, is about the world of professional football, starring Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz, and Dennis Quaid. It explores the intense competition and personal dramas within a football team. This page features a collection of movie previews. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is highlighted, noting it's based on Dr. Seuss's popular book and is a Christmas gift for the end of the century. Next is Otogiriso, a horror adventure game released on Super Famicom in 1992, now adapted into a movie. The story revolves around a horror experience in a Western-style mansion trapped in Otogiriso grass. It mentions advanced screenings at Tokyo Joyopolis starting December 2nd, suggesting it's related to a Sega theme park attraction. Red Planet is featured with Val Kilmer, starring in a story about the fate of a Mars terraforming project. Vertical Limit is presented as a rock-climbing action thriller. Galaxy Quest is described as a comedy. Hamlet, starring Sam Shepard, is also listed. The Crimson Rivers is mentioned as a mystery in Two Cities starring Jean Reno. Inugami is another film, with a focus on sound novels. Woman on Top is described as a romantic comedy, where cooking creates rhythm. Final Destination is presented as a horror film. Lastly, Anna Banana of Us is featured as a love story. This page showcases the supplement station feature of Weekly GameSpot magazine, issue 12.15 from the year 2000, volume 224. It advertises itself as having all the latest game information and strategy guides in one book. The main headline hints at the story of Tales of Eternia, revealing Riddle's adventure reasons and the appearance of a great spirit. Featured titles include strategy guides for Tales of Eternia, Favorite Dear Pure White Prophet, Onimusha, Warlords, and Blood, The Last Vampire, alongside a list of other covered games such as Dakab Bay, Angelique, Sunrakan, Carnage Heart XA, Superhero Operations, Deadly Weapon, Cool Borders Code Alien, Might and Magic, Day of the Destroyer, Unison, Dream Audition 2, Neo Atlas 2i, Dearth Rims, Shendu Ayuden, and Mega Man X5, noting strategy information for PS2, PS, and Dreamcast games. A SoftBank strategy guide lineup panel lists guides currently on sale, including Aura Battler Dunbine, Nostalgia, Ultima Online, The Second Age, and Tricolore Crisi. Guides scheduled for release in December Upper Decade are Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, True Mirror, Favorite Dear Pure White Prophet Official Guide, and Mercurius Pretty, End of the Innocence. December Lower Decade guides include Sorcerian Original, Phantasy Star Online, Black/Matrix Plus, Kanon, and Kakusei 2, Kakure Gekka Official Guidebook. Finally, January Upper Decade features Toraware No Angel Heart Visual Fanbook. The page also promotes GA Graphic, highlighting downloadable comics and wallpapers of beautiful girl characters, available for a limited time at their website. This Dream Magazine style guide showcases light novels, bunkobon, related to games, featuring releases from Kadokawa Sneaker Bunko, Fujimi Mystery Bunko, and Fujimi Fantasia Bunko. Kadokawa Sneaker Bunko, known for hit titles across games, anime, and movies, presents titles like The School Romance, Story That Summer with You, The Mobile Suit Gundam Story, Secret Meeting Amuro and Lala, and the fantasy novel Ragnarok 8, Wrath of the Gods. Fujimi Mystery Bunko focuses on mysteries, with selections including the cyber suspense Game Designer Can't Sleep, the Sword World short story collection Golems Don't Confess, and the suspense story Ancient God's Future is Challenging and Incident Melancholy Occult Master. Fujimi Fantasia Bunko, specializing in fantasy, advertises series like Slayers. Featured titles include Continent of Wind Volume 19 and the comedy Stella Regina by the Tenchi Muyo author. The guide offers a glimpse into new releases and established series within the gaming and fantasy light novel landscape. The next page highlights various light novels from different publishers. Dengeki Bunko is showcased as a label known for diverse genres and popular anime adaptations like Infinite Rivius and Boogie Pop Phantom. They are featuring The Sword and Dance of the Evil King by Kouhei Kadono, a new fantasy title, and Kino's Journey to the Beautiful World, the sequel in the Kino's Journey series by Keiichi Sigsawa, continuing Kino and Hermes Travels. Dengeki G's Bunko, focusing on cute girl characters from games and tied to Dengeki G's magazine, presents Diggy I Share It 3, the third novel in the popular Diggy I Share It media franchise. They also feature Roommate M. Yoko Inu, 17 Years Old Spring, reviving the heroine Yoko Inu from the Roommate series, set in the same world as the original game, but with a new story and protagonist. Asahi Sonorama Bunko, celebrating its 25th anniversary, caters to dedicated fans with new and reprinted works. Featured titles include Firestorm, Bride of the Firestar by Kan Akiyama, a sci-fi novel about a witch's secret, and Vampire Hunter D, Evil King Star Group 2, continuing the adventures of D, facing new enemies after a long slumber, part of the Vampire Hunter D series. Lastly, Crane's Coffin by Okajima Futari is presented as a game-themed mystery novel set in the game industry and involving a virtual reality system called Crane. This page introduces different light novel series from various publishers aimed at game fans. Dengeki Game Bunko highlights novels based on game worlds and characters. Featured titles include Gensu Suikoden Short Story Collection 1, based on the popular RPG series Suikoden, and Grandia 2 Part 1 and 2, based on the Dreamcast RPG Grandia 2. Tukuma Shoten Dual Bunko presents novels with attractive authors and story concepts. Titles include Blue Heroes Evangelist, Monk Soldier Hiragi, Ambition Waltz 1, described as a space opera, and Two Colored Eyes 2 Hertzgard War History. Shueisha Cobalt Bunko features shoujo novels. Titles mentioned are Thoroughly Dramatic Blood Goddess Legend Sand Overlord 3 and Charming Characters in Action Tokyo's Yellowtail Detective Team, A Bouquet for You, a school mystery novel. Super Dash Bunko focuses on gradually revealing empire secrets and action-packed stories. They highlight ROD Chapter 2, part of the Read or Die series, and Encounter Labyrinth Painted Bonds Distorted Princess Arc. The Sunnyside SNK fan page concludes its 5-year run with a final edition celebrating fan submissions. The editorial team, including Umemoto-san, Alze PR, editor Yo-H, and writer Ippon Jin, reflect on past contributions and offer thanks. The edition highlights winning entries, including Dark ELF, Grand Prize winner, praised for its depiction of K. Now, Nakoru by Yukito, impressed with its detailed art, and Sasaki Yuri was recognized for its artistry and style. Other featured artists include Izumi Motocho and Takeshita Kenji Company, each receiving positive comments. A closing message from Umemoto-san expresses gratitude for the fan support and announces his continued support for SNK as part of Alcida. He also revealed that the illustrations within the final edition were done by himself. This page is the final edition of the Sunnyside SNK fan page, marking its conclusion after 5 years. It showcases various fan art submissions for SNK games, highlighting winning entries and selected pieces. The page features art from creators across different regions of Japan, including Kanagawa Prefecture, Miyazaki Prefecture, Tokyo, Toyama Prefecture, Hokkaido, and more. The artwork depicts characters and scenes from SNK games, such as King of Fighters, KOF, and Samurai Showdown, Samurai Spirits, with characters like Kula Diamond, K, Nakoru, and Terry Bogard appearing in the fan art. Editor comments accompany some of the submissions, praising the artist's styles and interpretations of the games. The page also includes final messages from the editorial team, expressing gratitude to the fans for their support over the 5-year run, and reaffirming the enduring spirit of SNK. One editor mentions their personal favorite is Samurai Spirits. This article details a Kraken DJ competition, likely a Sega arcade game. 2 DJs, Surumen, Professor Fujieda, and Samadon, Samurai, face off in a battle. The competition involves playing songs on normal or hard difficulty, with scores across 3 songs being judged. The article emphasizes a judgment game/XL size hip-hop style. The DJs are shown practicing, with Road to the Desert proving challenging. The piece also includes a reader's question corner, explaining DJ techniques like queuing and kuten, addressing a question about the feeder to the left. Samadon dismisses mirror mode. The article concludes with a behind-the-scenes look at the Sega editorial team packing up, including a reminder of an upcoming manuscript deadline from Editor S. This page is dedicated to Confidential Mission, a gun shooting game. It details the mission objective, securing developers being transported by train. The synopsis of the previous story section explains that military satellites were hijacked, and agents Howard and Jane infiltrated a historical museum to retrieve a disc containing enemy information. The page then describes different stages within the train setting. In the seating car, players need to be cautious of general passengers and attack enemies emerging from the seating area. The sleeping car is described as a narrow passage that becomes a battleground, warning of enemies breaking in from outside. On the roof of the passenger car, players must navigate to avoid enemies like snowmobiles. Reaching the dining car indicates the boss is near, and enemies will suddenly appear from under tables. The operations section highlights a scene where players must mash the start button to save Lena, who is about to fall while running on top of the train. Success leads to Howard and Lena escaping by car, while failure results in Lena being dragged back into the train, leading to a rescue mission scenario. The page concludes with, Lena rescues success, but there, suggesting a continued threat even after the initial rescue. The game is listed as a gun shooting game, supports 2-player simultaneous play, and runs on the NAOMI arcade board. This page is a preview of Ninja Assault, a gun-shooting game where two ninjas take up arms to rescue a princess kidnapped by the demon lord Kishio. Developed by Namco, this 12-player game runs on the Naomi arcade board and features a Sengoku-era fantasy world where ninjas battle demons. Players use demon cannon guns and can find hidden red boxes in stages containing life recovery items or golden lucky cats to boost their score. The game is described as an Oriental magic-infused, Japanese-style gun-shooting experience. This page showcases Ninja Assault, known in Japan as Kakigake, Naomi Juku, detailing the structure of this 9-stage gun-shooting game. The objective is to defeat the Demon Beast King across these stages. The game features boss battles at the end of most stages, interspersed with some stages entirely focused on boss encounters. Story progression is enhanced with in-game movies. At the conclusion of each stage, players receive performance evaluations, including scores, accuracy, and a 5-level skill ranking. Stage 1, Black Eagle Castle, involves rescuing a kidnapped princess. Players will face ninja enemies within the castle, advised to target the ninjas emerging from the shadows. Stage 2, Thousand Mile Bridge, unfolds in a forest setting crossing a wooden bridge. Here, enemies assault from both sides and from above. The stage boss is the Karakuri Daigama, a mechanical giant spider. The strategy is to destroy the spider's projectiles before attacking the main body. Stage 3, Rocky Peak Mountain, takes place in a garden with temple-like architecture. Players contend with enemies using direct attacks and arrows. The boss is an Oni demon wielding a large club, and the weak point to target is its chest. Finally, Stage 4, Demon Crying Gate, is set at the entrance to the demon world. A colossal gate guardian serves as the boss. The weak point remains the chest area for this formidable foe as well. This page is dedicated to showcasing various hobby and figure products. At the top, there is a perfect grade 1 60th scale Wing Gundam Zero custom model kit from Gundam W. Next to it is an advertisement for a Destruction and Sin themed figure set featuring Kamen Rider Black RX and his motorcycle. Moving down, we find a Studio Ghibli image model collection for Laputa, Castle in the Sky, featuring figures around 6 to 10 centimeters tall. On the other side, there's an action figure of Fei Yen the Knight from Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, a popular Dreamcast game. Below that, a wooden model kit of the airship from Studio Ghibli's The Wind Rises is advertised. Lastly, the page introduces Cool Girl action figures, described as beautiful fighting girls, with different model numbers, CG01, CG02, and CG03. Finally, there is a 1/7 scale figure of Haruno Fuyumi from Kita E White Illumination, a visual novel adventure game released on the Dreamcast. This page showcases a range of figures and hobby products. Starting at the top, there is a plastic model kit of the VF-1A Valkyrie from the Super Dimension Fortress Macross movie. Next to this is an SIC action figure called Robot Criminal K, a unique robot character in a trench coat. Moving down, we see figures of Xianghua and Nightmare from Soul Calibur by CWORKS, highlighting the game's action figure adaptation. Beside them are Kubrick block figures based on the movie Battle Royale, depicting characters from the film. Then, there is a Ah, My Goddess Belle Dandy figure, part of the Maiden Descended Into My Room series. The bottom section focuses on Aqua Roid, a water robot by Takara, presented as a healing space product. This segment includes an interview discussing the concept of healing robots, and features different Aquaroid models, like the Aquaroid Tower and the Aquaroid system for Brobite, detailing their specifications and pricing. The interview suggests these robots offer a new form of pet and relaxation through interaction with water and light. The next page presents the 6th episode of the Tricolore Crisi Theater manga strip, authored by B. Toru. This short comic focuses on the two main heroines from the Dreamcast title, Tricolore Crisi, depicting their quirky interactions. In this episode, the character Anemia is at the Guardian's Sanctuary and comments on its peacefulness. Yukano appears, seemingly looking for someone named Yasu, and is surprised to encounter Anemia. Anemia then asks if Yukano came because of a rumor about the place, implying she anticipated Yukano's arrival. The page also features a news section announcing that the Tricolore Crisi Theater manga will be compiled into a book and sold at Comic Market 59 in Tokyo Big Sight during December 29th and 30th. This page presents the 6th episode of the Tricolore Crisi Theater manga, starring the characters Animea and Yuno from the Dreamcast game Tricolore Crisi. In this episode, Animea is at a peaceful location and remarks on the sounds of the night when Yuno appears, explaining she is searching for Yakasu, who got lost. Animea reveals she was expecting Yunano due to a rumor. They then discuss Linden, who suddenly appears, thanking them and mentioning he wants to talk to Yunano. Both Animea and Yuno consider heading home as it is getting dark. A small panel at the bottom right shows chibi versions of Yasu and Yochosu, with Yasu calling for mommy as he is lost, and Yochosu telling him to wait. This page is a manga titled Guru Guru Creature, Chapter 25, called Dangerous Situation by UEK USA. It introduces several characters. Guru Guru is described as a bright and cheerful first-year middle school student who likes fluffy and squishy things and is interested in creatures. Usagi is a rabbit-type creature made of gel-like cells, intelligent like humans, and understands human emotions. Aoba Aoi-chan and human-faced Aoi-chan are described as creatures created by Guru Guru as assistants, with two personalities, a creature and a human face. Otaku-kun is a beetle-type creature made by Guru Guru, described as a troublemaker who likes girls. Moti Moti-kun is a centipede evil-type creature, a diligent worker, and the opposite personality to Otaku-kun. Dandy Dandy-kun is described as the first creature Guru Guru made, seemingly strong, but actually fragile and sickly. Keshiko-chan is a mysterious transparent creature that makes people or creatures fall in love with the first thing they see after touching her. The manga panels show a narrative where Guru Guru and Aoi-chan are discussing a situation involving Otakun. Aoi-chan seems worried and holding a note that mentions Otakun. In the panels, Otakun is seen interacting with other creatures, including Moti Moti-kun and Dandy Dandy-kun, in potentially dangerous situations. The dialogue suggests a comedic and slightly chaotic scenario involving these creatures and their interactions. This weekly Dreamcastrology guide offers horoscopes from December 1st to 7th. Aries should focus on self-care. Taurus, on relationships. Gemini, avoid temptation. Cancer, prepare for anxieties. Leo, prioritize feelings. Virgo, try a new approach. Libra, seek stimulation. Scorpio, seize a second chance. Sagittarius anticipates improved health. Capricorn expects financial gain. Aquarius sees fluctuating luck, and Pisces should focus on relationships. Each sign has a lucky color and item. A humorous column confirms the horoscope's authenticity. Those born December 6th are encouraged to pursue dreams with support. Dreamcast Magazine's Readers Present section features several prize giveaways. Prize A offers 2 winners the Ultimate Tiger 2 Plus artwork book. Prize B gives 15 people a Dreamcast game of their choice, released before December 8, 2000. Other prizes include the Dreamcast Internet Guidebook, Prize C, 3 winners, Mr. Driller G and Candy, Prize D, 3 winners, a name card case, Prize E, 10 winners, and a t-shirt, Prize F, 10 winners. Prize G awards 25 people a phone card featuring the Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 cover. The next issue preview includes games like Guilty Gear X and Sonic Adventure 2, plus a peripheral catalog and debugging division report. Winners from the November 24th issue are also listed. Contact information is provided for inquiries. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Charge and Blast, described as a refreshing action STG. It features screenshots showing gameplay with futuristic soldiers battling insect-like enemies in a city environment. The text mentions that players become members of a special forces unit, equipped with the latest gear, fighting against invaders in a full-fledged action shooting game. Players can choose from 3 characters with different abilities to complete all missions. The game is advertised as being on sale from December 7th, 2000, Thursday, for 4,800 yen, excluding tax. The bottom of the page shows the Sims logo and company information, listing the game as Charge and Blast, Dreamcast Dedicated Software, GDROM, 1 disc, genre as action shooting, player number is 12, and features including Puru Puru Pack and VGA compatible. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Angel Present. It highlights the game's theme as a journey to find an important heart, and promises a story of emotion that won't let you forget your dreams. The advertisement indicates a release date of February 2001. The page features illustrations of anime-style characters, with the main image showing a girl with outstretched hands and a cheerful expression. Below, smaller screenshots depict scenes from the game and other character art. The bottom of the page includes company information for NEC Interchannel, the game's publisher.